Hey, what's up guys? Imagine getting rejected by your crush after 3 years, who didn't even know your name. Now you've got a new crush, but to help you this time, you decide to call on a supernatural wonder, a ghost inspector named Hanako, who resides in the girl's bathroom that'll grant your wish, as long as you pay a price. This is the story of toilet-bound Hanako-kun. Will the price be too much to pay? Let's find out. She felt a touch on her shoulder. Surprised at the touch of a boy in the restroom, Nene reflexively tried to swat him off, but her hands passed through. Scared to the bone, she asked for his identity, and he introduced himself as the seventh wonder, the bathroom apparition, Hanako. This seemed fake to Nene, since Hanako was supposed to be a girl. He didn't exactly match the mental description she had for the apparition befitting this title. Where was his bob cut and red skirt? He called those things out of fashion, and assured her the rest of the rumors were true, but he was indeed a boy. He granted a wish for whoever summoned him and took one thing as payment. Nene wondered if he was just some perverted ghost, so he suddenly began taking his leave. Then, she called him cool to earn him back. Hanako then asked for her name and wish, and she quickly obliged, adding that she was from class 1A, and her wish was for her unrequited love to be returned. The person whom she wanted was a second year, who went by the surname Minamoto. She called him amazing and cool, and remembered one time she had dropped her pencil case and he picked it up for her. Hanako agreed to help, but not with his powers. Confused, Nene wondered why, but he explained to her that borrowing his powers cost a heavy price. So, they started by using a safer method. The reason Nene didn't whine and quietly obeyed him was because she believed him to have solved countless romance requests. Hanako started by asking Nene to show off her strong points to the boy. When he asked what her talents were, Nene took him to the school's farm. There, she explained she was a member of the gardening club. She had wasted 3 years of her life honing her feminine skills for her middle school crush. She learned cooking and sewing as well, only to be rejected because the boy didn't know who she was and called her out for having fat daikon legs. But that was a month ago, so she was over it. Hanako, who had listened to her keenly, noted that she simply wanted to use Minamoto as a rebound. He then asked her if she even knew Minamoto's first name, but she cluelessly evaded the question. She didn't know it at all! Hanako then gave her a heart-shaped card to use to convey her feelings, but Nene instead used it to thank Minamoto for his help. She attached some vegetables and left a message on his desk. The result wasn't as welcoming as they had thought. The next plan didn't go so well, and so did the ones after. By the end of the day, none of the plans they had made had any hopes of bringing Nene closer to the boy. Nene was furious with Hanako at this point, and asked if he was of any use to her. He tried to impress her by showing off all the stuff he had in his pocket, but the effort was wasted as she threw the doll out the window. Quickly, he yelled at her that she'd be cursed, but the frustrated girl didn't care, so long as she ended up with Minamoto. She then called Hanako a liar and dashed out almost to the point of tears. She saw that the girl confessing to him was physically more attractive than she was. This was her nightmare. Inwardly, and he didn't want to be with anyone else. Suddenly, scales began to develop on Nene's body, and she began to sink. That was when it dawned on her that she never really liked or got to know him. She acknowledged her selfishness. She remembered Hanako's prodding questions back in the school garden. Nene woke up a while later when she heard Hanako's voice. She looked around and her vision had changed. She was back in the school building with Hanako. Worst of all, the world around her seemed bigger, but then she Gale. He told her this was the consequences of not heeding his warnings. Now, she was cursed to be a mermaid slave. If she was going to use it, she was supposed to split it between her and someone else. That way, the curse would split between two, although she still might become fish-like. It was called a matchmaking charm, because people under the same curse shared a special bond. Hanako asked why she didn't give the other scale to the boy, and Nene explained that she realized she wasn't in love with him, and she didn't want him to suffer because of her foolishness. She realized she was just using him. Like Hanako said, anyone would have worked as long as they returned her feelings. Then suddenly, a gigantic fish referred to as Hanako then introduced the spirit as the owner of the scale Nene swallowed. He declined her offer to let her take Nene. Apparition easily chopped her, and she disappeared immediately. After she was gone, Hanako explained to Nene that the mermaid would keep troubling them until he turned her back into a human. However, she would have to fulfill one of his wishes. Nene desperately agreed to his help, and Hanako took out a scale and swallowed it. The act forced Nene to return to her human form. Seemingly back to normal, Nene thanked Hanako, but he informed her that she would be his servant in exchange for her humanity. The boy teased her about needing an assistant, and her brash reaction made her realize that she could finally touch him. And at this point, he claimed to have granted her 2 wishes. She wanted someone to return her feelings, and as far as she was concerned, sharing this bond with her was probably the same thing. She definitely screamed though, saying she still had scales on her body. A week later after that incident, Nene consistently pleaded with Hanako to release her from toilet duty, which he swiftly rejected. She explained she had a prior engagement with a boy, but Hanako bluntly cut her hopes down by telling her that this new boy was only using her. He tried to persuade her by saying that he would treat her better than the seemingly coolest boy. But she, of course, would rather write some papers than clean the toilet. However, the threat of returning to being a fish by Hanako made her enthusiastic to clean the bathroom. During a lecture in Nene's class, she sighed sadly when she thought about cleaning the bathroom, and she was very reluctant to do so. She didn't believe things would actually work between her and the boy who was asking her to help organize papers. But it's not like Hanako wasn't using her too. When the teacher asked her to read out a paragraph from her book to the class, she realized that her belongings were missing. Even the skull brooch she had on her uniform was nowhere to be found. During break, Nene had still not found her stuff, making her depressed. Her friend and classmate, Aoi Akane, asked if she had heard the stories about a ghost named Yosei-san in their school. Apparently, the ghost was known to be mischievous, stealing things and killing anyone who ended up looking at it straight in the eye. Nene couldn't believe it at first, but was forced to when the situation became very serious in her school. All of her classmates were missing things. Out of nowhere, Aoi was pushed, which made the watering can she had spill all over Nene. As Aoi apologized for the mishap, Nene realized that some scales had begun appearing, which made her frantically run away. After getting away, she saw a towel on the floor. She picked it up, grateful to have found something to dry her body, but then noticed that the items her classmates were looking for earlier were scattered around her. So, she picked them up one by one, while following a trail and eventually stopped in front of a slightly open door. There, a huge apparition with several eyes stared at her and immediately tried to kill her, quoting the rumors Nene's classmates had told her. Thankfully, the attack was stopped by Hanako, who had one of his orbs, the Hakujodai, following Nene all day. He shot and defeated the apparition. After the ghost had been cut to bits, he called Nene a sucker for handsome men. Some cute little bunny yokai bopped Nene's head, and Hanako explained they were ghosts who had lived with humans since ancient times called moke, presently known as Yosei-san, and were forced to act upon the rumors being passed in the school. The consequences for not acting like the rumors suggest make an apparition vanish. Other than granting the wishes of humans, as the seventh wonder, Hanako had another duty. He had to monitor all apparitions in the school and maintain order between humans and apparitions. He couldn't ignore murderous apparitions, he had to eliminate them. However, a human like Nene could change the rumors of evil ghosts and save them. The moke cried, pleading for her help, and gleefully, Nene offered to help. She really liked the moke because they reminded her of her old hamster, White Inferno. She then gave her thanks to Hanako for saving her twice now. She grabbed on the back of his shirt, and moving forward, she decided to call him Hanako-kun. That way, they'd seem more like friends now. Moments later, she started sharing candies with the students at school. She came up with a rumor whereby if any of the students had candy, the moke wouldn't take their stuff anymore. Taking off, she told the students she was off to her friend's place, and they were shocked to see Nene heading to the girls' bathroom. With the moke sliding down, they bumped into a boy who asked where Hanako was, but they suddenly ran away. He got furious, shouting he was going to exorcise Hanako, and began laughing maniacally, making the students want to steer clear of this weirdo. At the school's rooftop, Nene wished a hot guy would just fall out of the sky for her. She knew that was just a fantasy, but she couldn't help but wish for a special encounter. Like in a movie where a poor girl was being held captive by an evil spirit. Then before her eyes, a handsome young man fell towards her and skillfully dispelled the spirit, and he and the girl were joined in love. Hanako held her cheek in response, telling her there was no need to daydream since she had him. Then suddenly, the boy from earlier, Ko Minamoto, interrupted them. He jumped from the roof, resembling the fantasy Nene had for her Prince Charming. His mission? Exorcising Hanako. Nene's dreams were flattened as she asked if Hanako knew the boy. He didn't, and explained that he knew of the Minamoto clan of exorcists from back in the day. Back when the world was more bleak, apparitions were called yokai and were way stronger then. The yokai were dispelled by the brilliant exorcist Minamoto no Yorimitsu, one of Ko's ancestors. Ko then declared his intention to exorcise Hanako and immediately attacked him with the weapon he had. Hanako grabbed the staff and taunted him, but Ko unveiled the weapon and used its innate lightning ability to stun Hanako. With the apparition unable to move, Ko readied himself to finish Hanako off, but Nene stopped him from doing so. Ko was thrown off, being kind of attracted to her. He then questioned her about Hanako, and she told him Hanako wasn't bad. He even saved her. However, Ko tried to knock some sense into her. Hanako-san of the bathroom was known as a super wicked evil spirit that his grandma only barely managed to seal away. His kitchen knife was proof he used it as a murder weapon when he was alive. Nene couldn't believe this. Unfortunately, Ko didn't get to finish his speech as the knife was swiftly brought to his neck by Hanako. Hanako was disappointed that the cat was let out of the bag, but God told him if he fulfilled his role, his sins would be absolved. Ko tried to attack several times but was evaded by Hanako, who dodged whatever attacks came his way. Eventually, Hanako won the battle, took the staff from the boy, and placed a seal on it, making Ko furious. He explained that the staff's power was causing more harm than good to Ko, revealing the scar it gave him. He believed that in the future, Ko would be able to master the staff and probably be the one to end him. Since the blonde boy was so adamant and gaudy, Hanako knocked the air out of Ko, and then declared himself the winner of the battle. After the battle, Nene asked if they should seize the staff, but Hanako rejected the proposal, since Ko was presently too weak to defeat him. Plus, he welcomed the excitement of having to battle Ko from time to time, and was looking forward to it. As he walked away, Nene began to realize she didn't know anything about Hanako at all, which made her sad. After class, Nene wondered what sort of expression Hanako had on his face when he said that even she could make friends with murderers. Getting startled because Aoi had been calling out to her, it took Nene a while before she snapped back to reality. Seeing that she always daydreamed, Aoi asked her if she had a crush, but Nene sighed, wishing that was true. The purple-haired girl then spoke about the second of the 7 wonders, the Misaki Stairs, which was the B staircase in front of the art room. It was a profound rule not to step on the 4th stair, and if violated, one could be dragged into the world of the dead and be ripped into countless pieces. And many students claimed the stairs sometimes dripped with the blood of its victims. Nene freaked out, surprising Aoi, who always thought she loved scary stories. That used to be the case until Aoi's stories turned out to be true. Aoi grabbed Nene by the hand and vowed to cheer her up with more scary stories. Suddenly, a voice called out to Aoi. It was her teacher reminding her to show up for career counseling at 4:30. She immediately followed the teacher and waved Nene goodbye. Nene then looked at the flowers Aoi had been watering and saw that they had started blooming. She rejoiced because it would make her friend happy. Unfortunately for her, the following day, not just the flowers, but Aoi herself had vanished and no one aside from Nene could recall her. Troubled, she rushed out of class and tried phoning Aoi's mom, but even the mother couldn't remember her daughter. She then suspected it had to do with the rumored staircase, so she turned to head towards Hanako, but collided with the boy. Like a gentleman, Natsu picked her up, and she started swooning due to his handsome physical traits. She watched him as he walked off, and then had to forcefully snap herself out of her fantasies, so she hurried off to Hanako's residence. On her way, an origami which belonged to her fantasy crush followed her. After getting to Hanako's stall, Nene asked for his help as she filled him in, but he informed her he was quite busy. Suddenly, a large barge was heard as Ko entered. The middle schooler walked into the girl's bathroom, furiously fuming. He attacked Hanako as soon as he spotted him and blamed him for the disappearance of his 2 classmates. His story fell in line with Nene's, so after talking it out with her ghost boss, Hanako informed them that there are 7 places, including the Misaki Stairs, which connect to the spirit world. He suspected that the missing students must have been taken to the spirit world. Noticing their confusion, Hanako referred to them as boundaries, and only then did it ring a bell to Ko. He then explained that his big brother had told him about the phenomenon before. Boundaries were the seas between the shores of their life and the next. It was a world of ghosts and apparitions with nowhere to go, and things everyone's forgotten. Teary-eyed, Nene grabbed Hanako's shirt as she asked him for help, and Hanako, in return, grabbed her by the cheek as he vowed to save them. He reminded her that he's the 7th wonder, and it was his duty to maintain balance. Ko quickly interrupted the mushy atmosphere, snatching Nene from the apparition. He had no reason to trust the toilet ghost, so he told him that he'd protect Nene instead. Hanako agreed but informed Ko that he'd be on his own, since he wasn't his assistant. As the boys quarreled, Nene vowed to save Aoi. At dusk, Hanako led them to the staircase, and just like the rumors said, the fourth stair was drenched in blood. He acted a fool by walking up to it and stepping on the puddle. As for the rest of the gang, they hesitantly followed him. Immediately, they were transported into the boundary, and right in front of them was a sign with the name Misaki. Around them, stairs stretched in different directions. Hanako then began to climb, and they had no choice but to follow. Nene noticed there was water all over the ground. She had to be careful, otherwise she'd trip, fall, and turn into a fish. Hanako explained that apparitions like him love to leave a lasting impression on people. That being said, he believed number 2 of the 7 wonders was overdoing it this time, and he was going to put a stop to it. Suddenly, a call from a telephone alerted the trio. Nene picked it up and learned that it was Misaki, the second wonder, demanding for her missing arm that she used to write on chalkboards with. The being explained that she used to be a teacher till she was sliced up in the school at the top of the stairs. Nene tried asking for Aoi, but didn't get an answer from the domain head. Ko suggested they just ignore Misaki's demand and go their own way, but Hanako advised against it. He explained each of the 7 wonders was unbeatable in their own territory. His was the bathroom, for example. If Ko wanted to see what happened when he left her path and made her angry, Hanako had no plans on stopping him. Hanako then dug through a drawer, finding a book that read, Boobs. G-Cup Heaven. Ko wanted Hanako to stop messing around, but this body talk made Nene self-conscious. She was a girl too, but then wondered if bigger was maybe better. If that was the case, if hers were bigger, maybe she could find herself swarmed by hot men. No. She needed to refocus on finding the arm. She started by looking for the arm, and while at it, the other 2 messed around. Hanako couldn't help but notice something was different about her. She assured them she was perfectly normal, until her ultra-padded bra fell out. Despite her clear insecurity, Hanako assured her she didn't need to say anything. Eventually, the time allotted to them expired, and Misaki demanded for her body part. From nowhere, a huge pair of scissors flew at them to cut. But Hanako's reflex was the reason why their heads were still intact. In the next few minutes, the party ended up being pursued by the flying scissors, but they were interrupted by human dolls. Left with no choice, Hanako and friends fended off their adversaries and were eventually saved by the moke, who handed them a list of items. Hanako ordered Ko to toss the arm, and as soon as he did, a door swallowed it shut. The door to the next level then opened to the trio, signaling that they had passed the test. On the other side of the door, they were confronted with more tests. Not knowing what to do and where to find Aoi, who wasn't close by, Nene became very worried. From nowhere, a call from a similar telephone rang. This time, Hanako picked it up, and a new task was handed to them. Misaki ordered them to find her other arm she used to clasp for prayers. Hanako then spoke up, calling her number 2, and asked if she remembered him, but she coldly urged him to do as she said. After the call, he explained to the other 2 that the 7 wonders knew each other. Ko then asked for Misaki's weakness, and Hanako told him that it was her yorishiro. He elaborated further by referring to it as a sort of battery which powered an apparition. Breaking it would weaken the spirit. With that being said, Misaki's yorishiro was then said to be in the deepest part of the boundary, probably way past the next door, at the very top of the stairs. So they had to get climbing. The team continued to look for Misaki's body parts, and by the time they were done, the final door opened for them. To you liking this video and subscribing to my channel, because here at my Shoujo Weekly, I've got plenty of interesting stories for you in the shoujo genre. You like romance? You like hot guys? You like cute moments? Just know I've got all of those for you. So come on, love is an open door. Subscribe and see what I've got in store. They finally reached the highest floor through the stairs. Nene freaked out when an object dropped and she couldn't see the ground beneath them. They suddenly spot a figure before them, and it happened to be the body parts they had been collecting. It ended up looking like a transfigured doll more than anything else. Nene sighed, remarking the bust size and a leg to be perfect, but I couldn't disagree more. A different figure entered the scene. The beautiful woman over the phone they had been finding the body parts for ran towards the doll, calling it a wonderful body. She had been trying to find the perfect body parts for her dear Misaki, and blew life into it. Unfortunately, it came to be another failure. Nene, who was already fed up with their games, asked for Aoi's whereabouts, but the woman replied nonchalantly and showed a pile of dolls who were people that also failed their tasks. Suddenly, Nene spotted a doll with a striking resemblance to her friend. She rushed to it, and as she wept while holding the figure of Aoi, the head popped off. Number 2, who was already fed up with their failures, just decided to attack the crouching Nene, but Ko blocked the attack just in time. In the process, his hand turned into a stuffed doll. Hanako quickly intervened, causing the fox apparition to retreat for a bit. Ko then asked Hanako to transform and blow their opponent away, but Hanako replied that wouldn't be possible since they were in number 2's domain. He couldn't use his Haku Jodai's power without her permission, but they could fix that by breaking her Yorishiro. Out of nowhere, the fox woman materialized and attacked them. Ko tried his best to defend himself while Hanako left him to talk some sense into Nene. He soon informed her that her friend wasn't dead, being the boundary. Nothing was born here and nothing died here. She looked up at him as she realized there was still hope. Still sobbing, she grabbed his stretched hand as she told him that she'd do anything to rescue Aoi. Hanako grinned. Before tying her up, he realized since the Yorishiro wasn't here, this must not be the deepest part of number 2's boundary, and figured if it wasn't at the top, it must be at the very bottom. And so, he tossed her. He then rejoined Ko and informed him they'd be buying time till Nene could find number 2's Yorishiro. In an entirely different plane, Nene opened her eyes to the moke. Luckily, the fall didn't harm her. She recalled being pushed off the edge and being transformed into a fish as soon as she entered the vast water, ending up here. Quickly, she ran to find the Yorishiro, but tripped on a diary that read, "Secret? Do not look." Despite the title warning her not to open it, the ever-so-curious Nene flipped through the pages. She saw a picture in the diary and learned that Misaki wasn't number 2's name, but instead her teacher's. Number 2's name was Yako. The diary contained Yako's recounting times with Misaki, such as when he gifted her a pair of hair-cutting scissors that she would always treasure, and that he would always teach her reading, writing, and the abacus every single day. Reading how much the woman loved to see him, Nene gushed over Yako's crush on her teacher. However, she hit a page that specified a day Misaki didn't come, and that happened the next day, and the next day, and day after day after day. On a later page, Yako noted a rumor she heard. Apparently, there was an accident on the stairs. They say Misaki fell off and died. Yako didn't know what dying meant, and planned to ask him the next time she saw him. Then, realizing he wasn't coming back, she eventually decided she would just have to make Misaki. And that's when Yako appeared behind Nene. She explained she only wanted to collect Misaki's body parts, and using his name saved her time. Suddenly, ghoulish dolls grabbed onto Nene. Nene tried to reason, telling Yako Misaki wouldn't want her to harm people like this. Yako already knew that. Misaki treasured his students. If he found out what she'd done, he'd be upset with her, but she was fine with that. She wanted Misaki to scold her again, and would do anything to see him again. Hanako's spirit orb suddenly saved Nene, and he then fell over, being worn out. He whispered, asking if Nene had found anything precious here to Yako, and then Nene remembered the treasured scissors in the wayside shrine. He tied Yako up to buy Nene time, but Yako begged Nene to stop. She's been working for Misaki's sake for so long. Seeing the woman like this, Nene felt frustrated. It was like seeing her past self. She called Yako out, claiming she wasn't doing this for Misaki, but instead herself. Nene then quickly removed the seal on the scissors, and now with its powers active here, Hanako ended Yako. Nene then saw visions of Misaki cutting little Yako's hair and handing her the scissors. About to take a class photo, his students clamored about their fearful rumors of a ghost girl that haunted the shrine. But it didn't matter to him. He pulled Yako out, and they gleefully shared the class photo together. Waking up to Hanako's greeting, he presented Ko, who had completely turned into a doll. And lifting up Yako, who was just a cute little fox, he explained she was going to change everyone back. Apparently, Yako was an Inari statue, and telling her to apologize, she just shrugged, making him consider making her into Kitsune Udon. Yako then explained everyone would be fine in the morning because her power was fading anyway. Nene then handed the class photo back to Yako, attempting to have a heartwarming consolation, which was met with a bite from the fox. Yako had no intention of befriending Nene. Exhausted from the day, Nene leaned against the wall and Hanako suddenly gave her a kiss, calling it a charm to make her feel better. Now she was red and screaming. The origami following Nene flew back to Natsu, and when it went back to Sakura, she quieted his loud mouth down by throwing a book at him. The origami then turned into a black spirit orb, known as a Kokujodai. Nene daydreamed about being rewarded with a kiss from a handsome Prince Charming. As it got to the good part, his face got replaced with Hanako's, asking if she wanted a smooch. Instantly, she screamed, interrupting her class. During club session, Nene couldn't take her mind off of Hanako for the stunt he pulled some time ago. Because of that, she talked to herself more frequently and it gave her weird stares. As she went on with her club activities, Nene wondered if Hanako liked her, since he always seemed to stand very close. Aoi, who spotted her, then asked what was wrong, and Nene decided to fill her in regarding her relationship dilemma. Obviously, she hid some of Hanako's details from Aoi and told her about some of his characteristics, which don't tally with her ideal type of men. She wondered what she would do if he confessed to her, and Aoi told her to go out with him if he did. After all, Nene had always been a sucker for pretty boys, and things never ended well with him. Also, everyone was confessing at the moment. The rumor queen informed Nene about the confession tree that was said to be raised by a god of love. She noted that everyone who had confessed under it had gotten a romantic partner. Staring at the tree, Nene felt a bit envious, but then she wondered if it had always been there. Then, they spotted Akane Aoi practicing his confession, with his buddy Lemon unenthusiastically posing as Aoi. Afterwards, they observed their classroom and admitted that there were more couples than before. Aoi then said that the boy who liked Nene might confess soon, but she thought there was no way. After school, Hanako asked Nene to meet him at the big garden tree after school tomorrow. She was shocked, calling the tree by its name. Seeing that she already knew the exact one he meant, Hanako confirmed their meeting the following day. After he left, Nene blushed as she anticipated the meeting. The next day, she rushed to school to Aoi to inform her of her scheduled meeting with Hanako, but before she could speak, she saw her friend shivering and sobbing. Without saying much and following Aoi's gaze, she sees the boys who were practicing under the confession tree a day earlier now holding themselves in weird positions and calling themselves a couple. Aoi was shocked because Akane had always said he loved her. She didn't love him back. They were just childhood friends. And plus, if they got married, her first and last name would become Aoi. But she couldn't just believe he was gay now. After school, Nene walked out of the building and headed for the tree. She was excited to get her first confession, even though Hanako wasn't really her type. She wished he would get taller and become handsome when his hat came off. When she got to the tree, she saw Hanako staring afar and noted that he had some cool sides. He suddenly grabbed her, telling her to go out with him. And despite everything happening too fast, Nene's heart started racing, and she enjoyed this confession. Unfortunately, the feeling didn't last long because Hanako whispered to her to hurry up and say no. Dumbfoundedly, she rejected his proposal, and immediately, everywhere around them grew dark. The tree began speaking, warning Nene that it was preposterous to reject someone's love. Seeing the tree's true spirit, Nene called it creepy, and angered by her rude behavior, the spirit attacked her, but a barrier stopped its claws. The word 7 appeared on Nene's cheek, and the tree realized it was a protective charm. Hanako was glad that he had a female assistant, since the tree was an apparition that only appeared in front of couples. He then cut the tree with his knife, reducing its power drastically. The result left their adversary as a tiny tree. The tree wasn't happy. It had been working so hard to save up power from the students' rumors. Hanako called the tree a kodama, a tree apparition, and it was the reason for the unnatural increase in couples. Hanako grabbed at Nene, finding her upset because his confession wasn't real. She headbutted him. She felt embarrassed. She felt so stupid. She asked him why he kissed her the other day, and he explained it was just a charm so that apparitions wouldn't attack her for a while. She was angered, having been misled, and as she began to leave, he grabbed her, apologizing for making her cry. With his hat off, Hanako looked like a normal boy for the first time. That's when Nene realized she called him her friend, but she never tried to get to know him, not about the crime he committed, or why he died, or his real name. He held her, telling her to stay here until she stopped crying. This was the first time she felt like she wanted to know more about him. The next day, he teased her, asking what she wanted to know his personal information for. Perhaps something dirty? She assured him it was only for a compatibility reading, but Ko wondered why he was stuck in between the two. Hanako questioned why she needed his date of death for a compatibility reading, and suggested she do it for someone she actually liked, like Minamoto-senpai. Getting nervous, she explained she didn't like him as much as she idolized him. Her upperclassman was more like an actor or a pop star. He was out of reach, but she just liked looking at him. After all, he was student council president, handsome, and kind and smart. Teru Minamoto suddenly appeared behind, thanking her. He was Ko's older brother. He thanked Nene for looking after Ko, but glared fiercely at Hanako. Nene couldn't help but gush at Teru, but only now realized the brother had the same last name. Somewhere private, Teru scolded Ko, reminding him he was to exorcise the seven wonders as soon as he encountered them. Teru tolerated them because they didn't cause fatal harm to students. But lately, there's been a change in the school's apparitions. The wonders, in particular, were the most powerful apparitions in the school. Ko responded that Hanako didn't seem so bad, citing how much he's helped everyone. But Teru responded there was no such thing as a good apparition. He left this task to Ko, hoping he'd grow as an exorcist, but now he wanted Ko to stay away from the seven wonders. Ko then begged for another chance, and so, Teru responded kindly, giving it to him. In the library, Nene was discouraged. She thought she might learn something about Hanako from a book, but it was all the stuff she heard about the ghostly girl Hanako-san she had read in elementary school. She received a book from Sakura, a girl who looked beautiful like a doll with slender legs, asking if she was curious about the seven wonders. Sakura noticed the book on Hanako, calling him a cat-like kid who is willful, selfish, and needy. Nene wondered if Sakura knew about Hanako, but never felt he'd been needy. Wait, this was just like in those manga where a mysterious woman appeared right before a couple to try to steal the man. Was she perhaps Hanako's girlfriend? With Sakura taking off, she told Nene if she wanted more info on Hanako, she should visit the fifth of the seven wonders. Nene chased after, but bumped into a teacher, telling her no running in the library. Nene quickly tried to find Sakura, but she was already gone. The next day, Nene had Aoi explain the rumor of the fifth wonder, the 4 o'clock library. The school library had a special repository that could only be entered at 4 p.m. The books inside had the names of people on them, and contained records of those people's times at the academy, what they've done and what they're going to do. Both past and future were written in them. Nene wondered if Sakura had been suggesting she find Hanako's book in that library. Aoi then warned Nene about the 3 types of books within: white, black, and red. White books had records of living people. Black books were about people who are already dead, and they say reds were the only ones you must not read. Elsewhere, appearing behind Natsu and Sakura, stood a boy resembling Hanako with black spirit orbs. At the library, Nene asked Ko if he was still hung up on exorcising Hanako, and Ko admitted having second thoughts. He didn't know much about Hanako and thought it might not be right to exorcise him just cause he was an apparition. Nene called her and Ko birds of a feather, and grabbing his hand, she shot an arrow to his heart. She noticed a butterfly, and the door to the 4 o'clock library appeared. Inside was the boundary, a border between this life and the next. She followed the butterfly, seeing it landing on the book with her name. She read a page where it noted her seeing Hanako with his hat off for the first time made her heart race, and how she had written a poem to express how she felt at that time. The poem read, "A glimpse of bare face, even though you're not my type. So why does my heart throb to know more of your mysterious heart?" She quickly closed the book, realizing the rumors about the library were true. She reached a red page that marked the beginning of future events, and was excited seeing she'd have her first ever date hand in hand at some food stalls, but then became brokenhearted when her date left, telling her it wouldn't work because of her fat legs. She turned to the page that revealed her learning about Hanako's true identity, and then the book started turning red. She couldn't stop now though. She needed to find out about Hanako. But seeing a giant ghost of Nene with number 5 on her face about to eat her, Ko narrowly saved her. He went for a counterattack, but it was useless. Now remembering that Hanako had sealed his staff, Hanako then appeared, saving them, separating them, and holding Nene right in front of Ko. Tsuchi-sensei then appeared, picking up one of his books and destroying the ghoul behind him. He picked up the 2 students, scolding them for turning one of the books red, and intimidated them by consuming one of the butterflies. Hanako then told him not to tease the other 2, and Tsuchi stopped playing. He wasn't going to mess with his boss's guests. That's when Hanako introduced the teacher as number 5, the 4 o'clock library. Nene and Ko were surprised to learn Tsuchi-sensei wasn't human, and he understood. But as an apparition, he couldn't exist if his rumor died. That's why it was important for him to spread his own rumor, and he suggested some of their friends might not be human either. Yako then appeared. Summoned by Hanako, they were basically working together to scare some humans. Their teamwork was not completely in sync though, with Tsuchi poking at Yako for attacking humans as of recently. So, Hanako threatened them to keep things in line. He then explained things were normally at peace, but suspected one of the wonders to be a traitor. This traitor was spreading rumors about apparitions altered to suit their needs. Number 2 was one of their victims. Tsuchi added that numberless small fry apparitions were one thing, but if they could change the rumors about a wonder, then the culprit must be a human with ties to a wonder. So, Hanako's idea was to temporarily get rid of all 7 wonders. Destroy a wonder's Yorishiro, and it loses its power. This way, he wouldn't have to worry about finding the traitor or anyone going out of control. Once this was resolved, he could just reappoint everyone again. However, Tsuchi didn't want to give his Yorishiro, or so he'd like to say, but he wasn't going to struggle. He had one condition for giving it though. He wanted them to tell him their personal secrets. He was the inquisitive type. So, Nene started, admitting that in junior high, she kept an exchange diary with an imaginary friend. Tsuchi knew she was lying though. Reading her book, she still kept that diary, with the latest page reading, "Dear Teru, you were so handsome today when you addressed the school assembly as student council president. But you really shouldn't stare at me so much. Our relationship is supposed to be a secret." There was in fact a school assembly, but everything else was pure delusion. Ko then gave his, admitting he was scared of Setsubun Oni masks. But again, Tsuchi didn't care. And so, Hanako offered his, but Tsuchi didn't actually want to know. He already knew enough about Hanako. However, both Ko and Nene were still curious. And so, Hanako admitted his secret was he liked donuts. He was so embarrassed over this. Tsuchi then opened the secret path leading to his Yorishiro, but the only one he wanted to enter was Nene. Making their way, the two conversed about her fondness for her friend Hanako. She wanted to know if events in the books could be overwritten, but unfortunately, the future was set in stone and impossible to change, except for the one time he'd seen it. He then presented his Yorishiro, a moon rock he had gotten from the boy who had changed his future. When humans had first traveled to the moon, he was given that rock the day after the historic event. The boy who had given it to him was an ordinary human, who loved stars and was a little awkward with words. He then had Nene release the seal, and from there, we observed Tsuchi's memories of the past. 1969, July 22nd, Tsuchi treated Amane Yugi's wounds. He was worried about Amane, and wanted to know who was bullying him, but Amane refused to tell. He then presented a moon rock that had landed in front of him when he was 4. And even if no one else believed it was a moon rock, Amane did. It was his treasure, considering the Earth and Moon were 380,000 kilometers apart. Amane got excited, holding up his moon rock to the moon. Tsuchi tried to protect Amane, looking like he was about to fall, and that's when Amane gave him his rock. When Amane looked at the rock, he felt like he could go anywhere. But now he's made up his mind not to go anywhere ever again. When Nene woke up, Tsuchi already knew what was going to happen. Destroying a Yorishiro revealed memories of its owner. The boy she saw, Amane Yugi, was who Hanako used to be. Back then, Tsuchi had read Amane's future, knowing what was going to happen to him. Amane's book said he was going to grow up to be a teacher, a science teacher. If he lived, he would have been Tsuchi's co-worker. Tsuchi was saddened, knowing Amane shouldn't have died the way he did, but he was the only human he knew who had changed his future. Amane had cut his future short, just like he said, and didn't go anywhere, still remaining as the leader of the 7 wonders. After Tsuchi left, Hanako jumped in, thanking Nene for breaking the Yorishiro and maintaining peace. She then jumped onto him, noticing his lack of body heat. She knew Hanako was already dead, but she didn't know what face to make with all that she's learned. Hanako later confronted Tsuchi because of how weird Nene was acting. Tsuchi did say he explained his Yorishiro to Nene, asking if Hanako even remembered what his was. Hanako answered it was probably some dirty mag, and of course, Tsuchi just sighed. While cleaning the bathroom, Hanako noticed Nene not grumbling like she usually did. She used to act like a Cinderella, who would complain about having to clean. But now, she wouldn't complain even one bit. He found it weird that she also wouldn't look him in the eye. During class, Nene found it hard to concentrate. She kept thinking about what she saw after breaking Tsuchi-sensei's Yashiro. During break, she decided to garden in order to blow off some steam. Ko walked into view and asked her for a favor, to help him make donuts. Shortly after, Nene joined him in the home economics room and saw the disaster he had made on the table. They cleaned up, and she asked him why he wanted to make donuts. Stuttering, he lied that his sister whined about wanting some, so he reserved the room. He apologized, but she thanked him instead. She then explained that she felt awkward around Hanako and started stirring like crazy. Ko had to calm her down and assist her with it. He related to how she felt and told her that he would lend her an ear whenever she felt troubled. He quickly got embarrassed, being told that he was too close to her, so she thanked him and decided to fill him in on what she saw in Tsuchi's memories. As she finished her story, she wondered if she should still be friends with Hanako. After all, he was dead, an evil spirit, a school wonder, a murderer. His situation was so complicated, she didn't know how to treat him. She also couldn't leave him alone. She knew she shouldn't pry too deeply, but she wanted to help him. Ko wasn't sure either what was right or wrong in this case, and since they both didn't, they really were birds of a feather together. They finished with the donuts, and as they were about to have a bite, Teru showed up and wrestled his brother, reprimanding Ko for not inviting him to eat when they had bought the ingredients together. At the same time, he wondered why Nene was helping, but she explained that Ko had invited her because he was bad at cooking. Hearing her, Teru was a little confused because he knew his brother was a good cook. But before he spoke up, Ko shoved the donut in his mouth and packed lots for Nene to give to Hanako. As she hurriedly left, she thanked Ko and he blushed. Learning Teru was quite bad at cooking, he then asked Ko why he was cooking with Nene and concluded it was related to Hanako. Determined, Ko spoke back at him, defending the seventh wonder and saying he would exorcise him only if he had to. Suddenly, out of Teru's eye, he noticed a moke running off into a corner, and it seemed suspicious. The moke eventually met with Sakura, who spoke to Nene and got an okay signal from it. On the rooftop, Hanako rejoiced as Nene handed him the donuts, but then became a little gloomy because he couldn't understand why she had been avoiding him. She scurried over to him and said that his situation was complicated, calling him a pain. She then added that she'd stick with him because she liked him, obviously as a friend. He then asked her if she wouldn't mind learning the truth. As he was about to spill the beans, his donut bag shook violently, and an origami flew out of it. He quickly took a protective stance and slashed at the paper. From it, a boyish laughter voiced. A black flame erupted, and an identical orb flew out of it. A boy identical to Hanako voiced his familiarity with Hanako's knife. He couldn't believe Hanako was protecting Nene, even though Hanako had killed him. This boy also knew Hanako's real name. As he walked towards them, Hanako began to sweat. He touched Hanako's cheek, but Nene pushed him out of the way and sprayed her hot tea on the apparition. He then grabbed her by the hand before grinning, bidding her farewell and vanishing into thin air. After he left, Nene asked Hanako if he was the person Hanako had killed, and he reacted by pinning her to the floor. She seemed scared and was on the point of tears, but Hanako also had the same look on his face. He then saw the donuts around him and walked off, apologizing to her. Nene sulked, wondering who the boy was that Hanako killed. Why did he kill him? There were so many things she wanted to ask, but she missed her chance again. In the broadcasting club, Natsu asked Sakura if it was proper to let that apparition loose. He suspected that they would have to fight Hanako's party, and even Teru was onto them. The two might find out they were the ones changing and spreading the rumors. The girl then said everything should be fine since Natsu would protect her. The boy immediately looked for his chance to woo her, but she swatted him off like a fly. As soon as Hanako's lookalike showed up, he rushed and hugged her, explaining that he was in a good mood because it had been such a long time since he'd seen Amane. He had even gone out of his way to look like him. He asked Sakura what their next rumor would be, and the girl then tuned in to listen to the students in the school, who talked about an apparition appearing at the junior high entrance. Friends explained the rumor to Ko, and saw the apparition grab his hand as soon as he tried to take his shoes out of his locker. Immediately, the boys fled, but Ko grabbed and cornered the apparition. He saw the ghost in uniform and wondered if he was a student here. During bathroom duty, Nene sees Hanako acting normal, but not willing to talk about the previous day's incident. Suddenly, Ko barged into the room with the apparition he captured and showed it. Confused, Hanako wondered why Ko hadn't exorcised the spirit, but he explained that he wanted to know more about them first. Hanako looked closely at the spirit and explained the spirit was here because he had regrets. As soon as they left, Nene asked if it would be okay to leave them alone, and he assured her that nothing would go wrong. In the hallway, Ko decided to use a forceful approach to learn more about this spirit, but the spirit insulted him by calling Ko's traffic safety earring lame. He asked if Ko had a crash in his brain and told him to spin around 100 times and drop dead. Why was Ko helping him? Because he was weak? He called Ko a pervert, scolding Ko for getting rough with him just because he was a cute ghost. After letting the spirit catch its breath, Ko determined not to show weakness and introduced himself as the second son of an ancient clan of exorcists. The spirit didn't believe Ko, thinking he'd been watching way too much anime and probably had 8th grader syndrome. Ko then asked for its name and grade, but the adamant spirit refused. Left with no choice, Ko threatened him and learned the spirit's name was Mitsuba, whose regret probably involved photography. There was a photo he wanted to take before he died, and since his camera was donated to the photography club, he asked Ko to retrieve it. Outside, Ko wanted Mitsuba to hurry up and finish taking photos. Mitsuba then teased Ko, calling the great hereditary exorcist traffic safety earring wearer a lying pervert who broke his promises at the drop of a hat. And Ko shocked him in response. Ko suggested Mitsuba take pictures of people, but he seemed reluctant, and thus, Ko offered himself to become Mitsuba's photo test subject. But Mitsuba rejected him, betting Ko only took dirty photos anyway. Yaku then came by and noticed Mitsuba's camera. He remembered it was sometime last winter. Mitsuba had died in some kind of accident. He was even in their class during first year. Learning this, Ko turned to Mitsuba, and his memory started flowing. Sosuke, Mitsuba. They were friends during first year middle school. Mitsuba called out to everyone he thought were his friends, but none of them recognized him, even though he recognized them. Going inside because of the rain, Mitsuba explained getting bullied a lot in elementary school. Whether it was because he was girly or cocky, it was always for dumb reasons. Because of that, in middle school, he acted friendly so no one would call him cocky. He got along casually with everyone. This resulted in him becoming a plain guy people barely noticed. He didn't get bullied and he didn't make friends. Maybe that was why no one paid attention to him now that he was dead. To this, Ko called him girly, rude, selfish, loud, a camera geek, gloomy, and a faker. If someone asked Ko who Mitsuba was, that's what he'd say. He apologized to Mitsuba for not noticing him. Mitsuba just seemed so different from first year that Ko couldn't recognize him. He told Mitsuba to keep being himself. Mitsuba asked Ko if he was still alive. Could they have been genuine friends? Ko responded just because he was dead, that didn't mean they couldn't be friends now. Mitsuba then took a photo of Ko. That was something that meant a lot to him. Heading back in, Hanako's lookalike wasn't going to let Mitsuba off on his own anymore. The boy quickly pierced Mitsuba, and Ko tried to retaliate, only to get smashed like a bug. The boy then grabbed Mitsuba, reminding him of his wish for everyone to remember him. Ko tried to stop the boy again, only to get swatted away by the Koku Jodai. This is when the boy explained Amane granted wishes for living people, while he granted wishes for the dead. Mitsuba wished, and so he answered. He summoned a radio and Sakura spoke on the other side about the rumor of a ghost with a broken neck who haunted the junior high entrance. A lonely ghost who constantly asked people if they'd forgotten him. If you couldn't answer by saying his name, then he'd break your neck and make you just like him. The students of the school started clamoring about this horrifying rumor, changing Mitsuba forever. Hanako's Haku Jodai alerted him, and he was horrified to learn what was happening. Mitsuba had turned into a disgusting monster. The boy elaborated. He didn't believe the Seven Wonders needed to maintain relations between humans and apparitions. He believed the two beings should act however they wanted, and if that destroyed the world, it was better that way. He called Mitsuba's wish kind of vague, but didn't know what he wanted to do. Yet, he wanted everyone to remember him. With a vague wish, the boy could only make him into a half-baked apparition. But things were different now, all thanks to Ko. Ko drew out Mitsuba's true wish, and the stronger the wish, the stronger the regret, and the stronger and more definite an apparition could be. Mitsuba desired to be with his friends forever and ever. The boy then tempted Mitsuba, telling him if he killed Ko, the two could be together forever. The price for his wish was reasoning. Now there was nothing that could stop Mitsuba from being a feral monster. With this, Mitsuba began to strangle Ko, and just as Ko was about to meet his end, Hanako saved him. The boy was so excited to see Amane, but completely serious. Hanako asked his twin brother Tsukasa how he could do this. Tsukasa was whimsical, simply saying he liked the way people looked when they stopped holding their desires in. Just like that time Hanako had killed him. Even though Hanako was shrinking back with tears in his eyes, Tsukasa continued expressing his love for his dear brother. Then he disappeared. Holding Mitsuba, Ko was desperate. He begged Hanako to turn Mitsuba back, just like the Misaki stairs. He cried over the loss of his friend. As Hanako explained, it was pointless. Wandering the world of the living as a spirit wasn't a continuation of life. When you die, that's it. No new beginnings. No matter how much one regrets or wishes, if they couldn't do something in life, they couldn't do it after death either. Spirits who defy that end up like Mitsuba. Hanako thought Ko might have been able to sever Mitsuba's regrets and attachment to the living world, but it backfired. Hanako stabbed Mitsuba, filling Ko with one last memory of him. But now, the camera was all that was left behind. Ko is now filled with regret, unable to forgive Tsukasa for what he had done to Mitsuba. That night, going through the photos, Ko found a picture Mitsuba had taken of him and wept, remembering Mitsuba had told him he was taking a photo of something important to him. With Nene crying over some idle mobile game, she got jump scared by Aoi. Aoi told Nene about a cool older boy who was inviting her to hang out, and Nene fantasized about hearing words like, "I love you, let's date, and marry me." But now she was face to face with Natsu. Walking together, she gushed over how handsome he was. And then we learned he was bringing her to someone who wanted to meet her. She wondered why he was carrying a goldfish bowl, but before he could answer, she got jumped by Tsukasa, who dumped water on her. He threatened to eat her, causing her to pass out. Just one of his pranks, when in reality, his plan was to only put her in the fishbowl. She came to pastries, new clothes, and with the water on the floor, she realized she was in a boundary. When Sakura greeted her, Nene remembered her from the library, calling her Hanako's girlfriend. Tsukasa and Natsu were in disbelief hearing she could be dating him, but of course, this was all just some misunderstanding. Nene recognized the boy, and after a bit of scolding from Sakura, she could tell they all seemed to get along surprisingly well. Sitting down, Sakura introduced herself as a high school third year. She, like Nene, was a human who formed a bond with an apparition as payment for a wish. That apparition was Tsukasa, who she denoted to be a little childish, but surprisingly dependable. As for Natsu, she just pretended he wasn't here. Nene had to be wary though. Despite Sakura wanting to be friends, she couldn't afford to drop her guard here. But 30 minutes later, Nene was sobbing and venting over her troubles regarding Hanako's changes in attitude. Sakura could empathize. She couldn't reason with Tsukasa and his behavior made no sense. He also had no sense of personal space. She couldn't do anything about it, so she's decided to think of him as more of a cat than a person. He then introduced himself as Hanako's younger twin brother, and he teased, asking if she and Amane had smooched yet, causing her to get frantic and deny it. He got in close, asking if she was sure, so they had to pull him away. Now Nene was frustrated with herself, realizing she had totally let her guard down. Tsukasa then gave Sakura the signal, and Sakura regrettably locked Nene into a ghostly chair. She didn't want to do this, but had no choice but to obey Tsukasa. He needed Nene to disappear now. Closing the door on her, Nene wasn't expecting to be locked in the room with Natsu as well. He simply answered that Sakura was weirdly harsh to him at times, but she didn't treat anyone else this way, so he assumed it was love. Sinking to her demise though, Nene begged for Hanako's help. Waking up, Natsu offered her a kiss, so she got startled and headbutted him. She didn't mean to. She was just too surprised. She felt like this was a missed opportunity, and that she should have just let him. Looking at the area, she noticed a lot of doors and moke around too. A moke came by with a radio, where Hanako spoke, explaining she wasn't quite in a boundary. And he poked at her for getting tricked by the usual things. Hot guys and apparitions. She rambled about everything that had happened, and ultimately apologized. The signal wasn't going to last long, so he quickly explained. The place they were in wasn't the world of the living or the dead, or even a boundary. It was called nowhere. Both everywhere and nowhere at once, where they could reach anywhere in the past or future from it. He'd been trying to have his Haku Jodai look for her, but the place was too big, so he needed her to help by looking for the door that connected to her original world. He needed her to be cautious though, since some doors were dangerous. The radio cut, and Natsu immediately opened the door to something dangerous, then a door to a flood of moke, then the thumbs up scene from Terminator 2, which by the way I've never seen, and many more. He apologized, figuring he had to show off because he was with a cute girl. During a delusional rant about Sakura secretly loving him, he opened a door that contained an apparition that dragged him away. Trying to use something that would help her find the right door, Nene heard some familiar music and opened the door to her classroom. She wasn't expecting to find the past Hanako she saw at the library though. She asked him about his wounds and he ran off, leaving behind his key with a rocket keychain. And that's when the Haku Jodai found her. She left the world of the past. Friday, July 18th, 1969. She launched out of the girl's bathroom stall into Hanako's arms. He then held her close, apologizing for ruining her donuts the other day, and she forgave him. He changed her clothing back, saying he liked her better this way, and welcomed her back. Whenever she was in danger or in trouble, Hanako always came to save her. She wished she could protect him too. Elsewhere, Tsukasa smeared the walls with the blood of ghostly bugs. But now, he knew what his next scheme was. In the girls' bathroom, Nene brought a photo album to the boys. She explained to them that the other day, Aoi showed her their gardening photos, and she noticed strange hands that sprouted from the ground in photos where she was involved. As she narrated the ordeal, more hands appeared in the bathroom and she called their attention to them. Ko decided to act cool and take them on via arm wrestling, but he got almost instantly beaten, while Hanako simply shook one, and it disappeared. They then noticed the hands leaving her photos as well. Hanako then suggested it was possible the spirits simply craved attention. Most lesser spirits disappeared if their desires were met. So in the case of the hands, he suggested that they play with any of them that sprouted out. She spotted Ko sulking on the ground and turned his mood a complete 180, simply by holding his hands and smiling at him. Seeing them all get chummy, Hanako joined in. They then saw more hands sprout and played their way through. Such an easy method of exorcism without having to fight seemed very convenient. In a short while, only one of the hands sprouting from the bathroom mirror remained. Ko went through the garden club photo gallery and praised the photos for being well taken. He navigated his way to the last page of the book, where the photographer's name was, and learned it was taken by Mitsuba. The hand from the mirror suddenly grabbed Nene and demanded that she follow it. It then pulled her into the mirror, successfully slipping away from Hanako's grasp. On the other side, Nene found herself in a dark, gloomy boundary. She then saw Mitsuba, whom she loved for his feminine features, and added him to her top-tier list of cute boys. He then laughed, pointing out that her ankles were kind of fat, calling her a daikon, asking what kind of fertilizer it took to grow her legs that way. Since she was better than nothing though, he pulled her with him and showed her a school wonder's boundary, the Hell of Mirrors. Although he didn't know much about it. He then informed her that he asked the hands to get someone to help, since he couldn't escape, and they brought her. They weren't his friends, but instead, accessories for the wonder. He then cutely begged for Nene's help, like a puppy, and it totally worked, despite her not knowing he was quite cocky and rude. As they walked, she noticed a large distance between them and decided to educate him on boundaries, since he was clueless. After rambling for minutes and saying all that she knew, he concluded that she was weird. She then tripped and hit her head on a mirror. Suddenly, Aoi called to her and said she had something important to tell Nene. She apologized for not telling Nene that her legs were super ugly, smiling and saying that even though no one said anything about it, they all thought so. With a snap of her fingers, familiar faces appeared on other mirrors, and then Aoi said they would be honest with her. They all called her Ugly Daikon over and over. The third of the 7 wonders was rumored to be the Hell of Mirrors. Among the mirrors in the school was one that reflected the hearts of anyone who wandered in, and only the brave and pure-hearted could come out. The mirror was known to reflect the ugliness in one's heart, and the world around a person would be hellish. Back in the girls' bathroom, Ko kept hitting the mirror as he called for Nene, but Hanako stopped him. He explained how number 3's ability worked, and admitted it would be bad news if he went in, since the mirror's strength changed depending on who was in it. He could accidentally make it too strong. For the time being, they would have to hold on. Nene's personality might end up changing the mirror and weakening it, but he wished he could at least see what was happening inside. In the mirrored world, the images kept on chanting Daikon to torment Nene. At the brink of tears, she pushed Mitsuba with the hope that he would also be made fun of. As soon as he stood before the mirrors, all the people in them vanished, with not even a trace of his reflection. He wondered if maybe it was because he was a ghost, or if it was due to him having no memories. They then wondered how to break out from the mirror, but then Aoi's image appeared again, and she pointed to the top of the hall's ceiling, where the Yorishiro was. They would have to climb the stairs to reach it. The mirror then took its true form, expressing its goal in exchanging places with the living. Since Mitsuba was just a lesser spirit, it didn't believe he was worth replacing. Mitsuba felt offended, calling out the mirror's gaze and saying it was perverted. That's when the mirror clapped back, calling Mitsuba a 7 at best. Nene tried to save Mitsuba's pride, only to get hit by the mirror calling her a 4. Seeing the bind they were in, Mitsuba screamed for help, and Tsukasa appeared to save them. He brutally grabbed onto the Hell of Mirrors and crushed its skull over and over until the mirror broke. He was happy to see Nene was still alive, and teased Mitsuba for being helpless, and Mitsuba broke into tears. Nene stared anxiously at Tsukasa. She couldn't fathom how powerful he was to easily defeat a wonder in its boundary. She watched him return to number 3's body and rip out his heart. His lesson to Mitsuba: if he didn't get stronger, he'd disappear. Thus, Mitsuba would have to eat stronger apparitions. In the science lab, Ko and Hanako asked Tsuchi for a way to rescue Nene, who had been trapped in the mirror world for about 2 hours now. Hanako felt troubled if Nene were to get hurt. He even begged Tsuchi for help. Tsuchi sighed as he conveyed that each of the 7 wonders' boundaries had their own functions. His library is the school records. Yako's is space, meaning they could reach almost anywhere in the school through her boundary. Ko was at a loss, thinking since Yako's Yorishiro was broken, her boundary would be destroyed as well. But that wasn't the case. The boundary itself still existed, although probably falling apart without anyone to oversee it. Yako refused to help at first, but with enough kitsune udon threats from Hanako, she agreed. As they climbed the stairs, Ko asked her if the reason she attacked him back then was because someone changed her rumor. She got pissed with him when he said he simply wanted to know what it felt like. Quickly, Hanako interjected and explained that Ko couldn't get over his ghost friend who disappeared after someone changed his rumor. Learning a bit about Mitsuba, Yako then told Ko that during her case, the side of her she normally concealed was forced to surface. She suggested perhaps Ko's words reached Mitsuba, even if he didn't understand at the time. Even if Mitsuba was twisted, he was still himself. She then led them to 3's boundary, where the two boys would have to figure things out for themselves. When Ko thanked Fox-san for her help, she bit him for not calling her by her name. They then readied themselves and jumped into the portal. In the Hell of Mirrors, Tsukasa tried to force Mitsuba to eat number 3's heart. Mitsuba tried resisting him, and Nene grabbed Tsukasa's hand. In return, Tsukasa nearly killed her, but stopped, whimsically remembering he was supposed to be gentle with girls. So he simply knocked her out instead. Moments later, the boys broke out from one of the mirrors in the hall, and they spotted Nene deep in sleep. Heaving a sigh of relief, Ko checked their surroundings and saw Mitsuba, who he thought was gone. The apparition now had talons for fingers. Hanako then spotted number 3's carcass and yelled at Ko to get away from Mitsuba, because behind him, 2 monstrous hands grew and charged at Ko. But Hanako stepped in and fended the uncontrolled attacks off. Tsukasa then spotted his twin and ran to hug him lovingly. They were immediately attacked by Mitsuba's giant hands, but they evaded them, and receiving another attack, Tsukasa grabbed the hands, gently telling Mitsuba to calm down and control them. Ko, on the other hand, asked Tsukasa what he did to his friend, and Tsukasa explained that he was making Mitsuba's wish come true. Mitsuba paid the price of reason, aka a piece of his soul. Back then, Tsukasa had taken that piece of Mitsuba's soul and held onto it, then made a body by scrapping together lesser spirits that were about to vanish and stuck Mitsuba's soul into it. This Mitsuba was different. The one who lived and died as a human was totally gone. Angered by the way Tsukasa treated his friend like a toy, Ko used his staff to threaten him, but they vanished and reappeared floating far above them. The sly twin then cajoled Mitsuba into becoming one of the 7 wonders, with the threat of disappearing forever if he didn't. The new powers seemed incredible to Mitsuba, and the boundary was his as well now. Tsukasa then asked him to wish for whatever he wanted, and Mitsuba wished to be a normal human. Immediately, Hanako interrupted them, saying that apparitions born in the land of the dead were forbidden from living as humans in the land of the living. He then said he'd have to take back number 3's power. But Tsukasa commanded Mitsuba to squash Hanako's team. To his surprise though, the pretty boy ran off because he didn't believe he could beat an opponent wielding a knife. Mitsuba didn't believe he was strong enough to win, citing how cute he was. After a little convincing, Mitsuba agreed to do it. To start things off, he assaulted his opponents, and in particular, still chose to call out Ko's lame traffic safety earring. Since this was his boundary, he had all the power here. While he continued speaking, Ko grabbed his arm and stared at him intently, hoping to jog up some of Mitsuba's memories. He held Mitsuba's arm and introduced himself, and then handed him Nene's photo album. But Tsukasa quickly intervened, shifting Mitsuba toward Hanako. Seeing the knife up close, Mitsuba started rampaging. This time around, Ko defended his party and asked Hanako what they should do. He answered that they needed to destroy his Yorishiro. Hanako then rushed to the boy and whispered coldly to him that he had no chance to live as a human, since he was the furthest thing from a living human. He told Mitsuba to give up. Mitsuba then screamed at him, refusing to accept his fate. As a result, his external limbs broke the walls around them, thereby sending debris down at the sleeping Nene. She woke up later and saw Mitsuba had protected her. Seeing his new form, she wondered what had happened to him, and he told her that he had gotten stronger. He accepted his role as the 3rd wonder and asked them to go home. Without wasting time, multiple hands sprouted from the mirrors and grabbed her party into them. She looked at him and asked why he was doing this, but he simply shushed her and revealed her photo album title, which read, "See You." The trio finally arrived back at the world of the living, and they were fast asleep in the bathroom. As for Natsu, he finally got back and wanted to meet with his beloved Sakura. To his surprise, he saw the new member, Mitsuba, with him. Nene thought about the previous incident in her room. As she played with her hamster, she recalled Mitsuba sending them back and felt sad for Ko, who explained everything to them and referred to the new number 3 as his friend. With Ko leaving to figure out things by himself, a fish appeared in a puddle and said it had finally found their princess, referring to Nene. The next day in class, while Nene was all gloomy thinking about Ko, Hanako suddenly appeared, spooking her. He then chatted with her and noticed how down she was because of Ko. She really wanted to cheer Ko up some way. As a result, Hanako acted jealously and toyed with her hair while they conversed. He then held Nene close, saying he felt lonely too when she had got stuck in the mirror. Seeing that he could show concern for her, she felt for Hanako, until he showed her new ridiculous hairdo. She screamed without holding back, interrupting the class and embarrassing herself in front of everyone. After class, Aoi spoke to Nene concerning her love troubles, but Nene couldn't open up due to her complicated situation. Hanako always teased her and stuck his nose in her business, but he wouldn't speak about himself. Sometimes, he looked so vulnerable that she couldn't abandon him. She just didn't understand. She wondered if she could understand Hanako better if she became an apparition. Out of nowhere, a voice said he could make her wish come true. It caught her attention and she saw the fish on her desk. Terrified, she got up and bolted outside the school building. Speaking with the fish confidently, Nene threatened it by saying that she was the assistant of the strongest apparition, but it all seemed to be a front as she clung to a branch for her dear life. The fish then referred to Nene as Her Highness, saying that they had come for her and were simply looking to free her from the clutches of that loathsome school wonder. They further explained it was their law that one who consumed the flesh and blood of the mermaid would become their next ruler. She was their new princess, and in their world, she could hook any man that struck her fancy. He said they had been watching how Hanako had mistreated her, and explained that while the mermaid may not look like it, she was quite kind. They then gave her a mermaid's lifeblood potion that could remove Hanako's authority over her. This was all due to the scale which she had swallowed, and this potion would shift her bond to the mermaid. Her body wouldn't change from water anymore as well. She had till tomorrow to think about it. Hanako's Hakujodai reported the fish incident to him, and he declared that he wouldn't lose his cleaner. In class, she asked Aoi for advice since it looked like she would have to cut ties with Hanako. Akane barged in and said he'd rather cut off his head than cut ties with Aoi. He then asked her out, but she scored him 5 points. He was so excited since it's the most he's ever scored, even though it was 5 points out of 100. Later, at the staircase, she asked Jako for advice, and the fox said it wasn't a good idea for humans and apparitions to mingle. She then scurried off, calling Misaki an exception. Nene later met with Tsuchi-sensei and asked him for a piece of advice. He said it would be better if she just confronted Hanako. The conversation intrigued her questions regarding his past, so she asked the teacher about Tsukasa. Conveniently, he told her that if Hanako didn't tell her, then he didn't want her to know. Unsure, she wondered if Hanako didn't trust her, but Tsuchi simply laughed at the idea, calling her a softie. Instead, he said that maybe Hanako was afraid of her finding out. He told her to make her decision either way, and hoped that she wouldn't regret it. After she left, he talked to Hanako, asking him what he would do after all he heard her say. The following day, Nene met with the fish outside the school building and rejected their offer. She mentioned Hanako's strong points and said she'd like to continue with him. The fish then reminded her of what she would miss out on, and even showed her a blueprint of charming male fish. They immediately swoop her inside the water and showcase their bodies, then told her to give up on getting a human partner due to her thick legs, and instead to stick with them. Using hypnosis, the fish almost succeeded in cajoling her to join them, but Hanako saved the day by using a fish net to rescue her. He threw the others into their puddle and told Nene not to believe what they were saying, following that by telling the fish that she liked him. As they asked for him to unhand their princess, he brought out his knife and then threatened to turn them into sashimi. They cursed and immediately swam off, saying they would be back for her. After they left, Nene said she had no intention of following them. Then Hanako teased her for thinking a harem might have been nice. He asked why she thought of becoming an apparition. Then she explained to him it was because she wanted to know him better. He then came towards her and patted her for acting so silly. While holding her head, he told her that when she said she liked him, it was the first time a girl ever said that to him, and it made him happy. As he walked to the door, he opened up about having a little brother, but he killed him. He then turned to her and asked if she wanted to know everything about him, and raised his pinky finger and promised to tell her one day, as long as she stayed as his assistant till then. And so, They promised on it. In Ko's class, the boy steeled his resolve to get stronger, to get Mitsuba away from Tsukasa. Unknown to him, Teru watched and commended him. He looked down and saw Amoke carrying summer vegetables to his younger brother. It was just another day at Kamome Academy, where on the 3rd floor girls' bathroom of the old building, Nene and Ko were telling Hanako he needed to get serious. They had a dangerous apparition to deal with. Hanako was as lax as ever, but offered to take on the job as long as Nene paid with her body. He wasn't expecting her to answer so unfazed and positive though. Just as a refresher, Nene re-explained the story thus far. She was saved by number 7 of the 7 wonders, Hanako-kun, a boy who lives in a bathroom. Ever since then, she's worked as his assistant, turning apparitions whose rumors get overwritten back to normal. With help from Ko, whose family was all exorcists, they managed to break the Yorishiros of Wonders number 2 and 5, the Misaki Stairs, and the 4 o'clock library. Hanako wanted to get rid of a traitor among the 7 wonders, but then Hanako's younger twin brother, Tsukasa, showed up and replaced wonder number 3, the Hell of Mirrors, with the apparition Mitsuba. With how dramatic her school life had been, Nene wanted to leave some kind of record. She's been through a lot with Hanako, but she felt like she barely knew anything about him. Just that his real name was Amane, he loved stars and donuts, and he murdered his twin. He said he'd tell her everything one day, but she was dying to know right now. At school, Aoi detailed the first of the 7 wonders being the 3 clock keepers. There was a huge, old clock somewhere in the school, and by moving its hands, you could control time at the school. But the clock had 3 guardians who oversaw the past, present, and future. Touch the clock without their permission, and they'll take whatever time a person has left to live away. That's the rumor floating around anyway. Nene was nervous. She had so much fun hearing rumors before she met Hanako, but now they gave her the creeps because every rumor Aoi told came true. The two suddenly heard their classmates shouting and saw that the classroom had changed. It was now dusty, lunch left inside was rotten, and Nene noticed the potted plant she had brought from the gardening club was fully grown. She explained it seemed like time skipped forward in her class to Hanako. Then, Ko suddenly appeared, frantically telling Hanako that Sato and Yoku turned geriatric. Hanako knew now this was for sure the work of 7th wonder number 1. The 3 clock keepers consisted of Kako, who could rewind time, Genzai, who could stop time, and Mirai, who sped up time. Wandering the halls, the 2 others were surprised to learn Hanako had no idea where this wonder was. He explained that when he had first met them, he was excited over all the pervy stuff they could do with time manipulation. Then, they never met again, and they didn't want to tell him where their boundary was. Nene wasn't having it with the perverted ghost boy. While he didn't know where to find them, he did know that Genzai blended in school as a student. His plan was to beat him up to lure out the other 2. Bringing Nene to the door, Hanako brought up how strange it was that her friend Aoi's stuff was completely unaffected by the time shift. Nene thought the idea of Aoi being a 7th wonder was ridiculous. Then suddenly, they heard a ghostly girl's voice giggling. The window shattered, and Aoi jump-scared her from behind. Hanako saw his opportunity and took possession of Nene's body. Using it, he grabbed Aoi, teasing her in a seductive way to make sure Aoi wasn't hiding anything. While Nene could only watch, Nene couldn't believe this, but even Ko couldn't resist the charms of her body. Akane just about had it with this inappropriate scene and quickly dragged Nene's body away. But what they didn't get to see was Aoi becoming saddened. She missed another opportunity to tell Nene something. Catching up with Akane, he was depressed over all the flirting Hanako did with Aoi. As a reminder, he was childhood friends with her and had been head over heels for Aoi since way back, so he overheated often when it came to her. He was also the student council vice president. When Aoi fell for a brainy guy, he studied hard. And when she admired the student council, he joined it. When he saw buff athletes excited her, he worked out till he nearly dropped dead. He reinvented himself to match whatever she did, asked her out, and got shot down. He was supposedly at 0 wins and 3,624 losses. He suddenly threatened Nene, asking what all that flirting was about. Hanako responded by saying Aoi was flatter than he thought, making Akane lose his cool. This shoved Hanako out of Nene's body, and she was glad to be back. He calmed down after hearing they just wanted to know Aoi's secret. He promised to lend them a hand, because he noticed Aoi seemed like she had something on her mind lately, and if that something was her having a crush on someone, he was going to make the lucky guy disappear. And so, they formed a temporary alliance. First, They spotted boys spawning over her mopping the floor, and Akane batted them right out of the building. More boys watching her garden? Akane hit a home run with them too. Nene was depressed finding out just how popular Aoi was with boys. They followed her to the theater room, and Hanako decided to move things forward by dropping the chandelier above her, forcing Akane to transform and freeze time to protect her. Nene noticed the chandelier stopped in midair, and so did Ko. Akane had heard of Hanako. He wasn't going to let Hanako slide, seeing as how he put Aoi in danger. He was about to beat Hanako up, but was surprised to see Nene move through the time freeze. And now his power was on cooldown. With some faculty knocking at the door, he decided to get them all out of here, since them being discovered would only cause more trouble for Aoi. As he cared for her in the nurse's office, Hanako explained he figured out Akane was a wonder when he got knocked out of Nene's body. Nene had no idea how Akane could possibly be a seventh wonder, and so did he at first. He called Nene a victim, probably having been tricked into some kind of contract with Hanako. The same thing happened to him. It was the day of their entrance ceremony. He asked Aoi out and got rejected like usual. She told him he'd have to work harder to get her heart racing, and if he succeeded, she'd think about going out with him. That's when an apparition appeared, forcing glass to shatter towards Aoi. At 12 years old, Akane never wished harder than he did at that moment. He shouted, "Stop!" and two ghosts appeared, offering him power over time. He was vexed, finding out the two had set the whole thing up. That's how he got the time-stopping watch. He could only freeze 3 times a day, 5 minutes each, and his contract with 7th Wonder number 1 lasted until he graduated. Until then, he was pretty much their errand boy, and except for the watch, he was still a normal human. He couldn't even see apparitions with his glasses on. Before they could continue their chat, they heard shouts, and in the school, all the students had turned geriatric. Nene spotted Mirai, the little mischievous girl of the Clock Guardians. Hanako threatened Akane for more info, so he explained Mirai escaped. She could make time speed up for anything she touched. That's why he made her wear gloves, so she wouldn't touch anything and kept her leashed in the boundary. But she escaped this morning. Hanako offered for them to work together to catch Mirai. However, Akane hated apparitions. He disregarded Nene's statement about Hanako not being a bad guy, and that he had a plan to keep Aoi safe during the chandelier drop. He felt apparitions had no concept of how precious life really was. He couldn't stand reformed villains. So what if someone was a goody two-shoes now? Did the past not count? Even so, he needed all the help he could get, so he was willing to work with a murderer like Hanako. Hanako just smiled in response. He liked humans like Akane. In the student council room, the gang contemplated on how to catch Mirai. Hanako asked Ko to protect Nene from getting touched by Mirai at all costs. Ko could tell Hanako was clearly hiding something he knew that would happen. They heard weird crunching sounds, and out came Mirai from the snack bag, calling them dummies. And even though she was a prankster who evaded them nimbly, somehow Ko caught her. In retaliation, she fast-forwarded him and disappeared. And now he was more handsome and as tall as his older brother. Seeing this, Nene sprinted after the little ghost, wanting to become a more leggy, grown-up beauty. Several minutes later, Nene hadn't gotten any closer to finding Mirai. Akane then told her Mirai only sped up time, and that probably wouldn't alter Nene's face or bone structure. Ko then offered her a hand, letting her know he thought she was plenty cute the way she was. She quickly hid behind Hanako, not wanting to get affected by Ko's new charms. Discussing a plan to deal with Mirai, Akane divulged her weakness. She was stupid, gluttonous, liked doing her hair, and she was fast. This reminded Nene of her hamster, and thus gave her an idea for capture. Prancing around, Mirai spotted a trail of candy and began to eat, falling into a trap set by the gang. Hanako was impressed by Nene's plan and Ko's trap he set now that he'd learn in the future. Mirai gave up, since she'd have nowhere to run, but wasn't going to go down without giving Nene a makeover. With Hanako holding her, Mirai could tell she couldn't move Nene's time forward, meaning she most likely had no lifespan left. Kako appeared behind Ko, turning him back to his appropriate age. He was, of course, the keeper of the past and the leader of the Clock Guardians. Ko was frantic, asking Hanako what was wrong with Nene, and Hanako was distraught, reminding Ko he told him not to let Mirai touch her. Setting her down, he hid his pain with a smile, telling Ko that simply, Nene didn't have enough time for Mirai to move it forward. she was going to die in less than a year. It wasn't because of his contract with her. She was always destined to die. Only beings close to the other side could call upon him in the first place. While there were those who were born with spiritual powers like Ko, there were others approaching their deaths like Nene. Ko wondered how Hanako could be so blasé about all this. But for someone who was already dead like Hanako, who lived and who died didn't matter to him anymore. Ko threatened Hanako, but Hanako was indifferent, explaining he'd been protecting Nene in his own way. He's been helping her enjoy what life she had left, and taking Ko's staff, he wasn't going to stop now. He pinned Ko down, telling Kako to turn back time for the whole school to this morning before Mirai got loose. Kako activated his powers, beginning to move time back as if this whole day didn't happen. Even someone with spiritual power like Ko wouldn't be able to keep his memories of the day from this. Hanako explained Nene's remaining time has been set in stone since the moment she was born. Ko wouldn't accept this. Knowing she was going to die, he wanted to save her. He'd make it work this time. He wouldn't give up. Hanako took Ko's statement as big talk. But Akane backed up his fellow classmate by throwing down Hanako. While he didn't believe in where there's a will, there's a way, he knew people who gave up never even got a chance to make their dreams come true. He's only used his time stop for Aoi, but he was going to make an exception for Ko. He'd stop time for him while Kako rewinded it everywhere else. And so, with time reversing, Akane protected Ko's memories of the day. Everything was restored along with peace. However, Teru wasn't going to let things go, now knowing Akane was a clock keeper. He then dragged Akane off to the council room to discuss what happened. As the Minamoto brothers sparred on the rooftop, Teru got the upper hand like he always did. Teru asked Ko if he was worried because of number 7. He reminded his younger brother that Hanako was an apparition, an inhuman being that he shouldn't spend too much time with, otherwise, he'd regret it. Nene gushed about receiving a love letter on her desk earlier, and she made her way to the girls' bathroom to tell Hanako. Yako came by to scold her, asking if the latest rumor Nene told was some kind of joke. The old rumor of the Misaki stairs involved never putting your foot on the 4th step. If that rule was broken, you'd be dragged to the world of the dead and be torn to itty-bitty shreds. Now the new rumor made it the ultimate hotspot for romance. The new rumor became climbing to the top hand in hand, whispering sweet nothings might bring couples together forever. But watch that 4th step, because stepping on it might cause a couple to break up for good. Yako transformed into her fox form and started gnawing at Nene. Day after day of couples' incessant flirting drove her to distraction. She then explained Hanako had gone to the science prep room, the former number 5's place, not too long ago and wasn't here. They ran into Tsuchi, who was running away from Ko trying to hand him a swarm of bugs. Turns out, Ko needed a favor from Spider Guy, and figured he might listen with a bug snack. However, Tsuchi didn't actually eat bugs. Ko caught so many by asking his hotter older brother to help, which attracted a flock of students to help them scrounge up the bugs. Ko was here to get career advice from Tsuchi-sensei, since he was his homeroom teacher. Nene was of course here looking for Hanako. Tsuchi remembered Hanako loitering around for a while, but then he wandered off toward the garden. Since she was going to go after him, Tsuchi told her to dump those bugs in the garden, and she was reluctant but accepted. Ko stopped her on the way, letting her know whatever happened, he'd be in her corner, and that if anything got her depressed, he hoped she'd remember him. Realizing none of that made sense, he began to flail around, but she was thankful for his support. After she left, Tsuchi brought up Nene's dark reality. Death would come for her since it was her destiny. Even knowing this, Ko refused to give up. Hearing this, Tsuchi decided to help out by sharing a bit of future events to come. Out from his desk, he pulled out a volume from the 4 o'clock library, spelling out Nene's past and future. Presenting today's future made Ko anxious, and he ran off to try to stop it. That future was Nene and Hanako's first kiss. Making it to the garden, they began to converse with the confession tree. His old rumor was, of course, if someone got asked out beneath his branches, the two would become a couple. Guaranteed. Even if the receiving end didn't want to be. Now the new rumor described him as a tree with a face, where if one found him, all their worries would go away. Continuing to insult Nene's thick ankles, she threatened him with weed killer. He then explained Hanako was here earlier, but had left to the roof. She missed him again. The tree then told her before she left, she should check out the bizarre object on the ground. It belonged to Akane, who received it as a gift from Aoi. He couldn't take it off her hands at the moment, because he was kind of busy. He was receiving punishment from Teru due to all the time shenanigans from the other day. It had been an hour since he entered the room, and now he couldn't move from this position at all. With Teru entering, Nene immediately became sparkly-eyed. He released Akane quickly, not wanting Nene to see him like that, making her gush over Teru even more. He then took off Akane's glasses, and now Akane could see the moke harassing him. The glasses had special properties that reduced their wearer's spiritual power to normal human levels, making apparitions imperceptible. Nene wondered if Akane not being able to see apparitions made them more dangerous at times. But for Teru, he believed sometimes not knowing, not seeing, and not getting involved was the best defense there is. Once you learn something, you can never unlearn it. In many cases, ignorance was bliss. Nene didn't really get it, but she thought he was so cool being deep. On the roof, she finally met with Hanako, excitedly presenting her first ever received love letter. Hanako lost focus, reading the letter that contained a confession. She could tell something was wrong, and wondered what he was so down about. For as long as she's known him, he's hated talking about himself. That made her want to know more about him. But she didn't know why. She wanted to cheer him up. Back then, he gave her a kiss that was actually just a charm to protect her. So she pulled him in, now returning the favor, telling him it was a charm to make him feel better. He became flustered and turned away, and she was embarrassed as well. He then held her, telling her she couldn't go rushing into things like that and to be more careful, following that by whispering something to her. Ko barged in on them, but before he could do anything, Hanako escaped. And Nene was a melted daikon. She was depressed, finding out from Hanako that the love letter was addressed to Aoi, from Akane, of course. During cleaning duties, Ko was sad, thinking about his old friend Mitsuba who got turned into the third wonder by Tsukasa after his death. This was linked to his fear of Nene's impending death. Hanako suddenly appeared to pinch his cheeks, telling him not to mope or else Nene would catch on. He then suddenly got smacked by a piece of paper, courtesy of Moke's new delivery service. And unraveling it, a note was attached from Nene inviting him to hang out at the summer festival in the Kamome shopping district. Hanako thought it was dirty, that only the two of them were going to the festival together. They'd for sure wear yukata. He wanted them to say no to any illicit dirty relations. And since he was bound to the school, he couldn't go with them. Nene told Hanako to stop being a pain because she could tell Ko was down and wanted to cheer him up. Hanako then told them they could just go to the festival here then, and to meet him at the Misaki stairs before dawn on July 7th. The day came, and Nene and Yako told the boys to go ahead since girls needed time to make themselves presentable. With the boys heading in, Ko was in awe seeing the festival from above. Boundaries were where life meets the next, and this one contained the Tanabata Star Festival. Hanako then presented a celestial crown Ko needed to wear. Since festivals in the boundaries were held by apparitions for apparitions, things would get dicey if they found a living human wandering in. He needed Ko to wear the crown and pretend to be a ghost. Otherwise, he might get eaten. Then, with Nene entering, the boys were blown away by her look at a yukata. They were so stunned, they were speechless. So, Yako had to smack Ko to compliment her, and he nudged Hanako, who made a slight affirmative gesture as well. He couldn't help but tease though, telling her the clothes make the daikon, and she headbutted him, not liking his joke. Perusing the festival, Nene quickly found out she couldn't buy things with money, but instead, her scales got her a lot. Hanako explained mortal currency meant nothing of value in the boundaries, and one usually had to trade something of value. Mermaid scales were hard to come by. Playing a shooting game, Nene directly hit the max point moke, winning them tons of prizes. Ko was curious about some particular paper prizes, so Hanako explained them as tanzaku. They were given out every time someone bought something at one of the stalls. They came in 5 colors: green, red, yellow, white, and black. Collect them all, write the same wish on each one, and hang them on the bamboo to get your wish granted. That's the rumor anyway. Nene and Ko began to fixate on the tanzaku, since rumors and boundaries tended to be true. Ko wanted to use his wish to fix Nene's lifespan and help Mitsuba. Nene wanted to use hers to make her legs slimmer. The two planned to collect all the colors. They had all the fun they could, but nearing the end, they just couldn't find that last color anywhere. Nene was a little sad about the wish, but she was glad they had fun at least. They began making their way to hang their tanzaku, but Nene got stuck between the other spirits. So, Hanako offered his hand, and with slight hesitation, she took it, and the two walked together until they got stopped by a cow apparition that knocked Nene away. She suddenly woke up at a festival where there were no apparitions, or Hanako and Ko. A boy who seemed familiar to Nene came by offering his hand and asking if she was okay. But she wasn't. She wanted to know where she was and where everyone went. She saw no water and surmised she wasn't in the boundary anymore. She then asked the boy what the current date was, and he brought her to a poster that read, Star Festival, July 7th, 1964. She was shocked because that was over 50 years ago. The boy was sweet, offering to take her to the place for lost kids if she needed help. He was about to write his wish on his tanzaku and hang it over there anyway. Nene learned that the rules of collecting the 5 tanzaku applied here as well. She didn't know exactly what was going on, but knew she just needed red. And if she got the final one, maybe she could wish herself back to where she came from. So, she grabbed the boy's shoulder, creepily asking for his tanzaku. But he pulled away, evading her at every step, despite her begging for it. He asked why she wanted it so badly, but she couldn't tell him it was for her wish to get back to the present. So, she embarrassingly made the excuse that without his tanzaku, she'd never get a boyfriend, fading into dust after making a fool of herself. Stone-faced, the boy tried to cheer her up with a drink. He felt bad for her, thinking she must have asked her true love out hundreds of times and struck out every time. Still though, he wouldn't give his tanzaku, and decided to split his meal with her instead. He then pointed out her swollen ankles, which she painfully denied. He just thought she looked so pitiful, and told her he'd treat her right if he was her crush. Nene thought of Hanako, and asked the boy for his name, to which he responded, Amane Yugi. She was shocked to find out he was Hanako, but he had no idea who that was. The two then pleasantly shook hands after introductions. Amane was happy after a full meal. He had come here with his younger brother originally, but the brother spent 3 whole hours doing katanuki, and he didn't want to interrupt him. So, he figured he'd end up eating dinner on his own, but felt a little lonely. He was glad Nene came, seeing him nod off with food on his face. She wiped it, despite him telling her he wasn't a kid. Regardless, he gave a flustered thanks, and offered his tanzaku. He was going to use it to wish to become an astronaut when he grew up. He wanted to go above the sky and see the moon and sun up close. But he couldn't be too sure this tanzaku would grant his wish anyway, and wanted to thank Nene for keeping him company, on top of the fact that she might actually be his type. Watching the fireworks together, Nene thought this was all like out of a dream, and wondered if it really was one. What if she was just dreaming of these pretty fireworks and traveling to the past, including the boy who would kill his younger brother once he was just a little older? She offered him all her tanzaku and told him to go make his wish. She then spotted the festival cow, and quickly concluded she needed to get hit by it to get sent back. Trying to take off, Amane stopped her. He was sad she was leaving so soon, and seeing this, she smiled, giving him a light kiss on the forehead, telling him this was for good luck, so he could be an astronaut when he grew up. And man, he was even redder than before. Running off, she knew Hanako was an apparition who granted wishes, but she wondered what he wished for. He may not become an astronaut like he originally wanted, but she hoped his wishes still came true. Nene woke up to Hanako and Ko calling out to her. They recounted her getting hit by the parade cow and crashing headfirst into a stall. She'd been out cold since then. Back in 1964's festival though, Amane hung his wish that read, May I meet Nene again. Ko happily offered his friends some candy. He was glad they were back to normal, despite them having no idea what was going on. Sato pointed out they didn't have time for candy though. They had to finish their group project, and needed one more person. So, they told Ko to go find one. This made Ko feel a little sad, thinking about his old friend Mitsuba. Wonder number 3. To recap, he was a ghost with no memory, but after getting fed the older number 3's heart, he gained their powers. That's how he ended up here. Tsukasa was the one who turned him into a school wonder. Tsukasa's 2 buddies, Natsu and Sakura, ran the broadcasting club, using the school broadcast system to spread creepy rumors every so often. He got up to talk to them, but felt embarrassed, hearing Tsukasa say they were saying he was getting in the way, and that they were just talking about a way to get rid of him. Natsu tried to reassure him that wasn't the case, but the lie didn't spare Mitsuba's feelings and he ran away. He cried walking downstairs, and the moke came by to try to cheer him up. He was encouraged now, deciding he'd just forget about those jerks. The school was big. Maybe someone somewhere here needed him. The moke then told him to stay here, and he thought the idea of being the moke king was tempting. However, they actually meant they wanted to tear him down and turn him into a moke instead. And so, he ran away in search of a true paradise. Unfortunately, he met all sorts of apparitions all over the school, like the freaky fox on the stairs, the creepy teacher apparition, the pervy shrub out to promote sexual indecency, and all the rest just didn't gel with him. He worried he'd never find a place to belong. Seeing the students walking about, he felt a bit of longing. A student dropped a piece of paper, and he wanted to be helpful and tell her, but remembered he was an intangible apparition. Normal humans couldn't even see him. He thought he was bad as an apparition, and knew he wasn't human either. He wondered where he should go. Teru gave him a shock, and pointed his blade, claiming apparitions who longed to be human were the biggest threat. Apparitions belonged to the world of the dead. He believed they shouldn't be looking for a place in the living world. As Mitsuba came forward, Teru pinned him down, telling number 3 of the 7 wonders he didn't belong anywhere in this world. Mitsuba couldn't help but think Teru reminded him of Ko. He pleaded for Teru not to look at him with such a scary face. And to save Mitsuba, Natsu shouted President Teru was in the market for a date. All the ladies began to swarm him, giving Natsu the opportunity to catch Mitsuba. And now, they could make their escape from the seething Teru. Making it back to the broadcasting club, Tsukasa congratulated Mitsuba, and he was happy to discover they were throwing a welcoming party for him. Sakura apologized for the misunderstanding. She had read things like this should be a surprise. That's what they were talking about earlier. They had a fun and joyous celebration, where they told him he had a place to belong here, so long as he wanted. They told Tsukasa to stop picking on him as well, but Tsukasa claimed he wasn't doing that at all. He even had a present for him, Mei Shijima, wonder number 4. And with her, Tsukasa was going to make everyone's wishes come true. On another day, Nene ran into class, luckily still beating the teacher there. Everyone welcomed her, but of course, the boy sitting behind had to tease her for her messy hair. She was shocked, calling him Hanako, but of course, he told her his name was Amane. He had no idea who Hanako was. She started grabbing at him, asking what he was doing in her classroom and why he wasn't see-through. He got a little embarrassed with everyone staring at them though. But with Hanako being a ghost, no one in their class should be able to see him. Aoi came by, commenting on how the two were inseparable and assuming Hanako was Nene's nickname for Amane. With everyone treating like Hanako being here was just another day at school, Nene was freaking out. Everyone was treating him like a regular classmate. However, with Amane pointing out Akane getting rejected by Aoi, looks like some things never changed. Nene suddenly pushed Hanako, telling him there's no way she was going to get tricked. He managed to distract her by reminding Nene her hair was messed up again. With him reciting an excerpt during lecture, she was still fixating on why Hanako could take classes here like a normal student. She wondered if he was a fake, or if he was just messing with her. Outside during PE, she asked Aoi if Amane had always been in their class, to which Aoi replied he was good at geoscience and had a twin brother in the class next door. And he was surprisingly good at sports. Considering his height, Aoi thought he was kind of a catch. He came up to Nene, giving her some high fives, and while he drank water, she was wary. But she bent over, feeling like he really did seem like a normal classmate. Looking up, she asked about the tower, and Hanako told her it's been here since they've been. Their classmates added it was still under construction, but would supposedly be finished soon. However, Nene couldn't shake the feeling the tower wasn't there yesterday. Back in class, she poured salt all over Hanako's head, telling the evil spirit to be gone. He got up suddenly, asking what was wrong with her today. She pinched him out of nowhere, showed him pictures of donuts he couldn't even eat, and dragged him into the girls' bathroom. He called her nuts, but she denied it. He went to the window, asking if she hated him for some reason. Reflecting on what she'd done so far, she realized it must look like she's been bullying him. She apologized. And so, he got close and baited her into saying she liked him, making her flustered. He got his opportunity to invite her to see the movie Hamster Wars in Space with him on Sunday. She wondered if this was him asking her on a date, and he averted his gaze, confirming it. Aoi was happy seeing the two finally move things forward. Hanako then put the tickets in Nene's hands, running off telling her to think about it. Aoi congratulated her, but Nene was concerned about Hanako being unable to leave the school because he was a ghost. Aoi just assumed Nene must have had a weird dream to continue saying things like that. Nene pinched her cheek, thinking now that the story of a school wonder and his assistant seemed even less real. She didn't know what to do. Hanako's hands felt warm, just like hers. It was a normal day for Ko, except he had morning duty and came to school early. Making it to class, he was stunned seeing Mitsuba alive and well. Mitsuba was playful during lecture, and Ko assumed since Mitsuba was a wonder, he probably used his powers to become tangible and fit in here. But Mitsuba had no idea what was going on. and assumed Ko was experiencing 8th grader syndrome. Ko slammed his hand on the board, telling Mitsuba to stop playing. Regardless of what this was, he was never going to let him go back to Tsukasa. Now Mitsuba wondered if his charms were just getting to Ko. During chemistry, noticing Ko was glaring, Sato told him to stop picking on Mitsuba. A beaker suddenly broke, and now Mitsuba's hand was bleeding, and so, Ko did what he could to help tend to the wound. Taking Mitsuba to the nurse's office, Ko noted the smell of blood and the warmth of Mitsuba's hands. He wasn't getting the sense Mitsuba was an apparition at all. He wondered if Mitsuba somehow turned human, or if the other one came back to life. Still painting, Mei thought all of this was a drag. On another day, Hanako was trying to drag Nene to clean the pool, but she was concerned she'd turn into a fish. She supposedly promised to help clean the other day, and Amane had also asked Ko to help clean as well. Hearing Ko's name, Nene was certain he could help her figure out what was going on. Meeting at the pool, they quickly called out what was going on to each other, and finally got relief from all the madness. Ko had some doubts, since Mitsuba fit in so naturally here. This brought Nene down, but then the two suddenly got soaked with water. She then panicked, concerned she was going to turn into a fish, but now saw that wasn't happening at all. She ran to a faucet to wash her hands, and still not transforming, she wondered what was going on, but discarded her worries because she could finally wash things and take a bath again. The friends began their team cleanup. It was a fun time, cleaning the pool on a beautiful day like today. Sitting down with Ko, he wanted to go back to talking about earlier, but they suddenly got interrupted by Mitsuba. He wondered what they were whispering about, all secret-like. So Ko offered him a drink and told him to get lost. Nene was about to ask Ko about the weird tower, then pointed out a girl drawing from afar. Ko noticed she wasn't wearing their uniform. Then, when their friends came over, the girl was gone. Hearing the descriptors of a girl in a strange uniform and constantly drawing, Aoi and Akane blurted out, "Shijima-san." They explained that Shijima of the art room was great at painting, but died before graduating. They even say her ghost still haunted the school, painting more pictures of what she loved. Rumor has it that her family wouldn't let her become an artist, and she could only paint until she graduated. So, she killed herself while she was still in school. Mei sighed, calling the two failures and cutting her paintings of them, causing Aoi and Akane to split and fall apart. Nene screamed, witnessing what had happened. The friends came over, hearing what had happened, and thought nothing of it. They claimed the two would be back to their usual selves in no time, then continued like nothing was strange about this at all. Ko grabbed at Mitsuba, reiterating how strange this all was. He at first thought maybe Mitsuba had come back to life. Maybe Mitsuba had gotten his wish, but now he could tell everything was off. Mitsuba pulled away. He didn't care if things were weird. He didn't care if this world wasn't real. And hearing him say that, the other two chased after him trying to find out what he meant by that. While Mei continued painting, the broadcasting club played the rumor about Shijima-san of the art room, a girl who loved to paint, but died before graduating. The wonderful, make-believe world she painted grant any wish, no matter how impossible it would be in real life. However, once you got sucked in, you could never go back to the real world again. You'll be stuck wandering the same moment for eternity. At least until she finished the painting. Continuing their chase for Mitsuba, Nene and Ko got stopped by Tsuchi-sensei, who had no idea why Ko was referring to him as Spider Guy. Nene is surprised to see Yako in normal attire as well. Tsuchi scolded her for coming here again, even though she didn't work here. Apparently, she had come by because Misaki forgot his lunch. The two were newlyweds and completely full of joy. Teru then suddenly appeared, offering the two scones. Ko had to stop Nene from trying to grab some, because there's no way his older brother could make treats without starting a fire or making a smoke cloud. Then, with the girl asking Teru how to make them as well, Ko was losing his mind. He grabbed Nene, telling her they needed to find Mitsuba because this world was undoubtedly fake. They caught him, retelling all the strange occurrences that had happened in this world thus far, and they wanted answers to what was happening. But Mitsuba refused to answer to some guy wearing a lame traffic safety earring. Ko didn't enjoy the banter. After a little more convincing, Mitsuba told them to take a look at the tower. "Worthless! Worthless! Worthless!" Mei repeated as she cut apart her canvas. She looked outside, seeing Nene and Ko below. The two were full of nerves staring at this intimidating place. Nene felt a bit uneasy without Hanako around. Inside, it was so dark, Ko bumped into a wall. But when they turned to leave, one of the paintings grabbed at Nene, causing her to scream. Mei glimmered over Nene's thick ankles, asking if she had thick bones because they were practically daikons. Nene pushed away, and thus, Mei apologized. She couldn't help herself meeting a human with an interesting shape. She turned the lights on, presenting her art museum, and introduced herself as number 4 of the 7 wonders, Mei Shijima. Nene thought it was strange this wonder listened when they talked, and didn't suddenly attack them out of the blue. She didn't seem bad, despite scaring Nene with the leg grope. Nene and Ko asked how they could get back to their world, and the answer was simple. Kill Amane and Mitsuba. The two were in disbelief, as Mei suggested strangling them, stabbing them, bludgeoning them, and pushing them off a tall building. Ko asked how that could possibly be the answer. And so, Mei elaborated further. This was a fictional world detached from reality, a world inside a painting by Mei, and whether it be a book or a painting, fiction works needed a central figure, someone who the creator built their world around. Without a central figure, fiction falls apart. In short, this world was a painting by Mei with central figures Amane and Mitsuba. If they were killed, Nene and Ko could return to reality. Ko couldn't do it though, even if they were fakes. However, Mei kept pushing them. She pulled out an array of weapons, offering Nene a knife that could cut through flesh and bones as easily as butter. But Nene refused. She could never kill Hanako. And to this, again, Mei pressed them, telling them this world was a picture of an everyday life that couldn't exist. Both Amane and Mitsuba were already dead. They couldn't attend school together. That was reality. Ko began to attack out of rage, but Mei restrained him. She then handed Nene the knife, telling her directly if she didn't kill the two, they'd live in this world forever. Escaping his bindings, Ko knocked the knife away and attempted to run off with Nene. Mei opened the locked door for them, and still, she coldly gave them more information. If they didn't escape from this world soon enough, they'd lose their real memories. Sulking and distraught, Nene really didn't want to kill Hanako. Ko remained positive though, believing there was no way Mei was telling the whole truth. They put their hands together, getting jump scared by Hanako joining in too. Seeing him again, Nene knew there was no way she could kill him. They needed to find another way. Mitsuba appeared as well, and ran off with Ko chasing after him. Out of his bag, Hanako excitedly pulled out his telescope for stargazing. He wondered if Nene forgot she promised to watch the meteor shower with him tonight. He rambled about Perseids, the moon, and a great view. She'd never seen Hanako smile like this. She bet he'd be just like this if he were alive. In front of them, Tsukasa pointed out the shooting star and joyfully jumped on his older twin. Nene wondered if this Tsukasa was fake as well, but now heading to where the view was, her question was answered as Tsukasa told her, "I hope you managed to kill Amane good." Natsu and Sakura conversed on how vicious Mei was, having told Nene and Ko to kill their dear friends. Still though, Mei had exposed the secret to escaping, but Sakura thought this was no issue. Nene and Ko were too kind. Nene ran away to the classroom, using the excuse of wanting to change outfits. She tried to get a grasp on all that had happened, losing her mind figuring both Tsukasa and Mei were in cahoots, and that he wanted her to kill Hanako, which made sense since Hanako had killed him. This was probably revenge. The two brothers entered to check on her, and reaching the rooftop, it was like a party. Akane came by, who earlier had crumbled to bits, but was now completely normal. Aoi was back as well, feeding a small cookie to Nene. Aside from all the fun, Nene asked where Mitsuba and Ko were. She wondered if Ko was trying to kill Mitsuba, but shook herself, still choosing to believe he was looking for another way. She decided to go look through one of the telescopes, where Hanako sat below, describing the red stars as Scorpio or Antares. It was actually a pair of twins, but one shined so brightly you could never see its companion star with the telescope. Antares' light was at least 100 times stronger than the sun's. It didn't stand out as much as the sun because it was so far away, and they were only seeing its light from over 600 years ago. Red giants were stars near the end of their lives, so the real Antares was likely gone. Hanako called it dead, but you can still see it. Kind of like a ghost, huh? Grabbing at him, she asked if he really was Hanako. He assured her he was just Amane, then gave a slight sigh, asking how this Hanako guy was like. She told him they were alike, always making dirty jokes towards her, and goofing off whenever he could. But she didn't think he was so bad, admitting she liked Hanako. She then grabbed at his face, telling him they should run away together back to the real world. Elsewhere, Mitsuba was being reprimanded by Ko. Ko wanted to know if Mitsuba knew one of the conditions for leaving this world was killing them. Mitsuba's hope, however, was that they would have forgotten everything by the time they had wasted at the tower. He transformed, exclaiming his wish to be human. Ko was ready for battle, but Mitsuba had no intentions of fighting. He wanted to show he had learned how to use his school wonder powers. He presented the school's memories, replays of everything that's ever happened here. Number 3's boundary was on the other side of the mirror, and getting to the boundary, he could pull up anything reflected in the past. So he saw everything about his old self. The moment he disappeared, the time he spent with Ko, the time he was alive. The old him tried to make friends, but he couldn't get the hang of it. He was all alone and lonely. It all made him jealous. He had family to come to his entrance ceremony. People turned to look to him when he called to them. He took classes with everyone else. He joined a club. This only made Mitsuba want to live as a human even more. Tsukasa had told him to give it a try. A fake world inside a painting, one where all wishes could come true. Ko was pissed, calling Mitsuba a pushover. But Mitsuba already knew Tsukasa was just using him. There was just no one else who could grant his wish. He panned to the time when he asked Ko if they could have been friends if he were alive. He believed Ko didn't really care about him, that he only cared about the Mitsuba from before he became a wonder. The glass shattered, causing Ko to bleed. Mitsuba described his time baking cookies with all his new friends as tears ran down his face. He bet he would have had even more fun if it were all real. But he brushed his sorrow away, because this was good enough. Even if this was all fake, he was still happy. He wanted Ko to make do with it, telling him to think of him as the real Sosuke Mitsuba, that they lived in the wonderful world where the Mitsuba Ko couldn't save was alive. He assured Ko the idea may feel off now, but when enough time passed, they could make it so Mitsuba never died. He then offered his hand, asking Ko to be his friend once again. Ko slapped it, saying there was no way he could be happy for real in a fake world. This hurt Mitsuba. He pleaded, asking, "Don't you want to be friends with me? We had fun, didn't we? Going to class together, cleaning the pool with everyone. Why, wouldn't you like it if Sosuke came back to life too?" Ko was solemn, admitting a world where Mitsuba was alive might not be so bad. But he didn't need fake happiness. He was determined to wake Mitsuba up to reality, even if he had to drag him kicking and screaming. Mitsuba pushed back. Ko could tell he was stronger than the time with the Hell of Mirrors. He tried to close in, but got knocked away by Mitsuba's immense power. Mitsuba then approached close to taunt Ko, but that was exactly what Ko wanted. He wanted Mitsuba to express his true feelings. This Mitsuba didn't actually want to be the old Mitsuba from before. He wanted to be himself as he was now. Just human. Ko promised to make Mitsuba's wish come true in the real world, but to this, Mitsuba got upset and refused. When he was in the real world, he felt jealous. He wished everyone could just die and be like him instead. In response, to ease his tears, Ko offered to die and stick with Mitsuba forever. He pulled Mitsuba back with him to bring them back into the real world, but Mitsuba saved them and they landed in the bushes. Mitsuba was irritated, knowing that fall could have killed Ko. The two bantered a bit, until Ko said he figured if he became just like Mitsuba, he might understand him better. Hearing this, Mitsuba gave up. He wasn't going to get in Ko's way, or help him either. Now, with stronger resolve on both ends, Ko and Nene were going to get their dear friends out of here. We turned to Nene trying to open the school gate with her right-handed grip strength of 77 pounds. She succeeded, telling Hanako to follow, but he refused. Even though she called him Hanako, he reminded her he was Amane. He wanted to stay here. He had fun here more than anywhere. He thought going outside wouldn't lead to anything good. The city was dangerous at night, and it was too bright to see stars. He asked her to go back with him, or was she not having fun? But she admitted she was. She had a ton of fun. However, the person she liked wasn't here. Amane then suddenly asked if the person she liked was the person he reminded her of, making her flustered over the heat of the moment expression she gave back on the roof. She convinced him to follow, and when they walked past the gate, he paused, but they continued forward. The two rode on a bike together, with Nene on his back. She knew this was technically against the law, but having seen it in shoujo manga, she had always wanted to try it. Of course, no one in shoujo manga took turns quite as intensely as he did. Nene figured since they were inside one of Mei's paintings, there must be an end somewhere, whether it be on a train or a bus. They needed to find the end of the world. Apparitions surely had limits. Getting on the bus, the driver suddenly turned into Mei. causing Nene's soul to leave her body. She sprinted off, dragging Hanako with her. She had no idea why Mei was there. Continuing their walk, they almost got hit by a car. Nene then asked the man for a ride, and getting inside, he became Mei too, causing Nene to tumble out. A bunch of adults came to check on her, but she was horrified seeing they were all Mei too. Mei eerily reminded Nene she was in her canvas. Mei was always watching. After getting away, Nene was at her wit's end on what to do. No matter where they went, Mei was there. Hanako had no idea who that was though. In his eyes, the people all looked normal to him. He didn't quite get what Nene was talking about, but asked if she had ever thought, if today was great, who cares if tomorrow never came? He wished time would stop plenty of times. Patting her head, he told Nene it was time to head back. But seeing him, she wondered what happened to his face. And now seeing it himself, he screamed, wiping the markings off. And now a floating brush appeared before them. It painted on Hanako, writing, "Brother Complex" on his face. Then on the playground, wrote, "I'm on your side, and I'll tell you a way out of here." Nene inquired more and felt the brush was suspicious. It then wrote, "You can trust me." But of course, that's something only suspicious people say. Nene was a girl not so easily fooled. A policeman then came by to check on them, and of course, it became Mei. Nene panicked and began her run. But she wasn't expecting the brush to strike Mei and turn her into spilt paint. Nene was over the moon now. She was a pure-hearted girl who chose trust over doubt. She asked the brush for a way out, other than killing Hanako and Mitsuba. The brush answered no one needed to be killed. There was a door to the real world that could take them back. But before it could tell where the door was, Hanako grabbed the brush and snapped it in half. He then grabbed Nene and knocked her out, and carried her back home. Back at the school, Mitsuba was teasing Ko for speaking with so much confidence, yet having no plan at all. However, he did have a plan. It was to meet up with Nene so they could figure things out together. To this, Mitsuba explained this world might be better for Nene. She could even marry number 7 here if she wanted. But Ko smacked Mitsuba's head in response. Spotting the two making it back, Mitsuba decided to hide. Hanako explained Nene got knocked out from being run over by a stampede of hot dudes. That was just a joke though. Now that Hanako spotted Mitsuba, he coldly asked, "Is that all your wish meant to you?" Hanako threw Ko and Mitsuba protected him. Then, Hanako took his usual form. Ko was happy, thinking everything was going to be alright now. But for Hanako, everything here was already alright. This fictional world was one different from reality. Number 4 could make it day or night with a brush stroke. They could see stars on bright nights, including all the meteors they wanted. Not even life and death were bound by real-world rules here. Nene's coming death was less than a year, but here, she could live past her appointed time. Not just for a year, forever. Using a strong gale, Hanako took Nene high up. He knew this world would be completed soon, and didn't want her making any more trouble in the meantime. He was going to lock her up. Mitsuba tried to catch him, but Mitsuba was nothing in terms of power compared to Hanako. And with that, Hanako had his opportunity to take Nene away. Going back to where Hanako was talking about Nene being able to live longer, she was secretly awake at this point. She actually woke up on the way back from the park, and thought Hanako was acting so weird after breaking the paintbrush, she decided to pretend she was still unconscious to try to figure out why. And she was shocked to find out she was going to die. Pretending to wake up, Nene wanted answers from Hanako, and simply put, he answered this world was more fun for him. He always wanted to try going to school with her, but when she asked if she was really going to die, Hanako was stunned, quickly learning she had been listening in. This made her fall to her knees. She questioned why Hanako kept deciding things without her. She had no idea what he was thinking. Touching her face, you could see the hurt look in his. He also wondered why he did things like this too. Giving a light peck on her forehead, he promised to save her. She just needed to relax and stay here forever. Meeting with Mei at the top of the tower, we learn Hanako has no intentions of staying in this world once it's complete. He was using her powers to keep Nene safe, and told her to hurry up and put the finishing touches on this world. She didn't seem so positive about that. She was cheery meeting Nene, who was still sobbing over her impending death. Mei whimsically told her to look on the bright side. Humans close to death were special in lots of ways. They could see apparitions and make a contract with the school wonder. Mei was thankful for Nene, because this make-believe world only made it this far because of her. This was a world where everything worked out. A place Hanako hated more than anything. Deep down, he must have wanted to destroy it on sight. But realizing Nene could go on living here, he decided to let this world finish. It was clear he liked Nene very much. Nene admitted she was still a little down and asked to hold Mei's hand for comfort. She just wanted anyone besides Hanako to comfort her right now. Get baited. She was faking her sadness and now holding Mei hostage. She had a lot of time to think in this cell. She found supplies to paint and draw. So she drew her friends back in the real world and it made her homesick. Then, she started getting angry. Angry at Hanako for always doing these things without consulting her. She wouldn't let him have his way, even if she had to coerce Mei to help her. We quickly find out Nene's threats were meaningless. Mei asked if Nene was really okay with dying, but Nene didn't even know if that was true. She bet she'd be fine once she got out of here. Mei challenged this, responding Nene had nothing to back up her words. Saying that she'd be fine was just wishful thinking, no better than fiction. Ridiculous. Someone special to Mei had said the same things once, but no amount of dreaming changed her reality. Tsukasa then suddenly appeared, offering Mei the chance to see that special someone. He was going to make Mei's wish come true, and he sent Nene with her. Back where Ko was, Mitsuba started beating him so he'd stop moping around over Hanako's feelings and Nene's death. All that big game Ko talked, he wanted Ko to take responsibility and see it through. Then suddenly, as Mitsuba was going to give a solution, the broken paintbrush hit him. Nene suddenly woke up in a hospital. She was startled, hearing the nurses pity a young, dying girl. She then ran off crying, and finding Mei, she wondered who the girl in the hospital bed was. Mei brought up her own Shijima-san rumor. Shijima of the art room was a girl who had a real talent for painting, but her family was against her becoming an artist. So before she had given up, she killed herself, they say. The rumors were nonsense and lies though. Still, she was going to make her wish come true and kill Mei Shijima. However, Nene quickly put a stop to this. The other Mei then hit a button, summoning spirits, and the two got away. The other Mei hid with Nene around the corner, and she was fascinated by Nene's ankle measurements. Nene was experiencing deja vu. She thought this girl really looked a lot like Mei, and of course, this girl was in fact Mei Shijima of the living world. So Wonder Mei's wish was to kill herself before she died. But Nene couldn't quite make sense of it all. Nene was lost. This wasn't the painting she was in, and it wasn't a boundary either. So, Mei offered to take her to the exit, but only if Nene would help her with something. She wanted a breakfast companion, but Nene knew this was no time to relax with a snack break. Tearing up, thinking of Hanako, she still managed to get a bite of what Mei offered, and Mei poked, saying it probably all went to Nene's legs. They finished their meal. Nene couldn't help indulging herself. Mei was going to show Nene the way out, because she had to get back herself. She had a painting she needed to finish. She was on the fine arts track and going to art school. Both her parents supported her, so she couldn't slack off. Nene was confused. This was vastly different from Shijima-san's rumor. As Mei invited Nene to come view her finished painting, they found themselves surrounded by ghostly specter nurses. The nurses whispered, Poor thing. She'll never make it. She's still painting. She's always sleeping lately. She barely touches her food. She'll die soon. But Mei disregarded the rumors. She felt in no way was she going to die soon. Mei couldn't even remember who started her rumor anymore. As the students viewed her painting, they speculated on her death being sickness or an accident or a murder until they hit the current rumor that was. Mei should have been a minor apparition, but before she knew it, she became a school wonder, an apparition who trapped the living in the fictional worlds of her paintings. Shijima-san of the art room. She one day uttered, I hate paintings. And Tsukasa had appeared to tell her to stop painting them then. She chucked him away. Having heard about number 3, she asked if he needed her heart too. But no, he was here to ask her to paint him something. She then drew a clone of herself and had her deal with him instead, even though the clone wanted no part of this either. Mei sighed, hating painting, but at this point, it didn't matter anymore. She wished for nothing. She wouldn't resist anything. Her wish could no longer come true. Her fictional worlds could depict any wish, no matter how impossible, but it was all worthless to her. Dreaming wouldn't change reality. Neither could fiction. She wished she had never painted that picture. The rumors would have never started without it, and Shijima-san of the art room would have never been born. Cutting down the specters, Wonder Mei wanted to kill the Mei of the past before she finished the painting and donated it, and erase herself. Nene narrowly saved the other Mei, who noticed Wonder May had the same face as her. Wonder May apologized to the other May for not fulfilling her duty, which was to protect her. Other May had sketched a tower that contained her what-if self inside, who was healthy and always painting. Other May was confident she'd get better someday, and wanted the May within her sketch to take care of her painting in her stead until then. And that May appeared, accepting Other May's wish. Wonder May was created so that May could live. But fiction couldn't change reality. She couldn't save May. And even worse, as an apparition, she accidentally sparked distorted rumors. She didn't want her fictional self to do real May harm anymore. She wanted to keep the truth about May safe. May asked if she was really going to die, and Wonder May knew the sad truth. She knew May's worries, her anxieties, her fears. On nights she couldn't sleep, Wonder May was with her. May had kept smiling, believing in the future, but the future she wanted wouldn't come. Nene told her to stop, but May pushed her off. She then went for a fatal blow, but the real May stopped her. She then threw Fiction May off and was playful. May then ran with Nene to the exit and explained this world was a dream she was having. As long as she woke up, Nene could get back. They made it to the exit, a staircase to heaven. Problems came, realizing Nene couldn't ascend them. This staircase led to May's reality, so Nene's exit was somewhere else. Nene was concerned, wondering if May would die if she went back. Fiction May shouted to halt them. She didn't want to continue existing and harming the real May. But May didn't see it that way. She knew reality was hard to take, so she closed her eyes and dreamt in order to keep on living tomorrow. Fictional May was her self-portrait, her dream, her hope. Because Fiction May was here, she could wake up again. She could keep living. Also, she thought there was nothing wrong with Fiction May being an apparition. She thought being passed on as a school ghost story sounded super cool. The whole time May walked away, the other May stood and watched without a word. Nene then woke up to Mitsuba and Ko, and they caught number 4. She was annoyed and she quickly cut herself down. Ko threatened May to let them out, but she quickly tied him up. She was willing to work with them, but she couldn't delay finishing the painting. Nor could she let them out of this world instant either. That was part of her boundaries rules. No owner could break their own rules. Like number 5 couldn't change the future with information from the 4 o'clock library. She couldn't stop painting. And she couldn't change the conditions for escape she set when she started. When Nene brought up that she couldn't kill Hanako and Mitsuba, May suggested strapping a bomb to Mitsuba and crashing him into Hanako. Mitsuba didn't like the idea, and rambling through his complaints, the paintbrush gave him a good whack. The brush was actually a failed copy of May. May herself wasn't thrilled about creating and managing this world, so sometimes she ended up making copies that reflected those feelings. So in a sense, a part of May had been wanting to help Nene all along. Nene then remembered there was supposed to be an exit door, and with the paintbrush releasing the window, May was going to show them the exit. Ascending the stairs, Nene remarked her joy of this world. She knew Ko liked it too, and thought Hanako liked it as well. And that thought was the reason he wanted to stay here. But she totally got that wrong. When they had cleaned the pool or gone to class together, she still wondered what he was really thinking. Perhaps he'd been putting on an act. Ko questioned if Hanako really wanted to lock Nene up in this world, adding that maybe that desire was fake. Mitsuba was like that. He gave up reaching for a wish he figured would never come true and settled for a fake world he could reach. He told himself it was good enough, that it was all he could hope for, even though he wished for something else deep down. Apparitions were kind of accepting that way. They quickly gave up. Nene now realized May was the same way. She didn't really want to kill her real self. Was Hanako the same way? She wondered what he really wished for. Regardless, Ko believed Nene could get the answer out of him, since Hanako only let his guard down around her. Now the two were on fire. May snapped her fingers and presented their emergency exit. The moon. She explained it always appeared in random places, and the protagonists Amane and Mitsuba would never be able to reach it. But she supposed that reflected Hanako's will more than Mitsuba's. Hanako cockily reminded them he wasn't going to let them leave. Nene and Ko were fired up to fight back, while Mitsuba was scared out of his mind. Nene wasn't going to let Hanako win. She called for the plan, and Ko struck with powerful lightning first. His staff, Raitejo, was unsealed here, thanks to May. This was no issue for Hanako though. Wearing his current getup, he wasn't considered an evil spirit, so the lightning had no effect. And he cut apart the staff completely. The two were about to go at it again, and May took some of Hanako's orbs, the Haku Jodai, away. This was still her boundary and he needed to respect it. Meanwhile, Nene and Mitsuba had split up and were sneaking around. Nene begged the paintbrush to paint them towards an exit, and Mitsuba couldn't believe she didn't have a plan in all this, calling her an unscientifically farmed daikon. Hanako caught Ko's wrist, calling him naive, pointing out Ko's weakness in wanting to save anyone and everyone. That's what he liked about Ko. But in the end, Hanako was always the one who sorted everything out, so he wanted Ko to pipe down for a bit. Then suddenly, Mitsuba grabbed all of them, and Nene was biking her fresh pumpkins to the moon. She originally asked for a pumpkin carriage, but this would have to do. Hanako was about to end their ride, so Nene tackled him, causing them to fall, but they bounced and rolled on the fluffy, solid clouds. Nene started beating on Hanako, calling him a selfish bully. She didn't care if she was going to die soon. She was planning on growing different vegetables next year, and once she finished studying for entrance exams, she was going to make her jaw-dropping college debut. She also wanted to try drinking in one of those grown-up restaurants. She'd wear a perfect white wedding dress someday. She didn't want to stay here forever. She wanted to live her life. She shouted at him to tell her what he really wanted. Did he really want her to stay here and never leave? Hanako suddenly grabbed her, replying of course he didn't want to trap her here. Then she'd be like him. He had no future. He only existed to atone for his crimes. Endearingly, he told her she had her head in the clouds. She was all over the place. She had fat ankles. He'd known about her lifespan all along, but he was dead and didn't care who else died at that point. He didn't think he cared, at least. At this point, he wanted her to live. As she held his hand, the two stared at the moon. She brought up something Tsuchi-sensei had told her. The first time people went to the moon, everyone thought it was impossible, and that nothing was up there. She told him she wanted to go to the moon with him. She wanted to live in the real world, this year and next year, all the way up to 90 years from now. Hanako-san, will you make my wish come true? He sighed. He couldn't resist a wish from her. He had her close her eyes and pushed her to a crazy fall where she landed back as a bike passenger. Hanako then shot them off the bike. He knew he wouldn't ever make it to the moon since he was already dead. But since Nene was wishing to live another 90 years, he'd grant her wish. He was an apparition who granted wishes for the living, after all. He placed them on the top of the moon, and its strings came apart. When Nene came to, she woke up in Mei's boundary and saw the painting they came out of. We learned that inside, Nene had only been interacting with a copy of Mei, and once her Yorishiro was broken, the painting world collapses and everyone returns from where they came. Mei inquired on what Nene was going to do to protect herself from dying, and Nene basically said she'd be more careful, check out at a hospital, etc. But of course, Mei teased Nene for having no plan as usual. She then suggested Nene go see the first of the 7 wonders. The clock guardians might be able to advise someone like her who had little time left. They were also the oldest of the 7 wonders and may know things Hanako didn't. Mei then handed Nene her Yorishiro. She didn't mind if Nene broke it. She was only born because Mei wanted hope that she would live on. If Nene was chasing the same thing, Mei wanted to help. That's the kind of apparition she was. She also felt bad about making Nene play along with her silly fiction. Nene responded it wasn't silly and thanked Mei for making such a wonderful world. She broke the Yorishiro, and they returned to the real world. The picture-perfect one came to an end. Visiting the girl's bathroom, Hanako jump-scared her, but this was her world, the world she wanted to live in. Alright, what a nice ending to the series. Hopefully, they find a way to extend Nene's life. And supposedly, the next season begins in July of this year, so I'll cover it as it releases. It'll feature the 6th wonder, the Grim Reaper. Subscribe to the channel for more, but for now, watch this next video. It's me, ComfyTea. I'll see you all in the next one.